Welcome everybody to another episode of the Plug and Play podcast. My name's Alexis, and we got a returning guest or returning co-host for today. Cam, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, this man took last week off, so he should be ready and recharged for today. So there's a couple news items and then of course we got Henry. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to come over and discuss for today. So let's get started with, I guess the biggest news is Xbox and Microsoft. They're increasing the price of different Game Pass tiers. So if you know, like if you're into like Game Pass, there's like different tiers. Earlier this year, I believe, they introduced Game Pass Core. And that was for online play, and they give you like a assortment of games that are just available, but no like day one games. But then just last week or so, they announced the price increase for different tiers in Game Pass. So there's a lot to go over in this one. So so let's start with from the top. So the top tier, which is Ultimate tier for Game Pass, which also has PC Game Pass, which has day one Game Pass, day one games, back catalog games, online playing, as well as cloud game, which increased to $19.99 a month. So this is up for $14.99 a month. So this is like a $5 increase. So you're gonna be paying almost like $260 a year. Since there's no yearly annual fee, you're gonna have to be paying each month. If you just want PC Game Pass, it'll be increased to $11.99. So it's all the benefits as well, such as like day one releases, which is a huge benefit for people, which is basically what people are looking for in Game Pass, just day one games. And I don't know if that includes third party games. I know day one releases is about Microsoft games like from Bethesda or Obsidian, or from their own studios, basically. And then they're also going to be retiring Xbox Game Pass for the console tier, and they're going to be replacing it with a $14.99 standard tier, which has a back catalog of games, so over 100, and online play as well. But there will not be day one releases, so or even cloud gaming. So you're going to be missing out on like new expansions or new games from like Bethesda and stuff. So, I mean, $14.99, that's a lot, honestly, because that was the price of the previous Ultimate tier. So this is just a new tier, which has no day one releases, which sucks because I know there's people that are looking for Game Pass to play the new Call of Duty. But, like, at this point, it'll just make more sense just to buy the game outright for Call of Duty. Because I remember there's people talking about just get a Game Pass so you can get Call of Duty, like, free, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people say that word, they just,
yeah, of course, yeah,
free. But I guess, like, man, I was surprised they increased the price of Game Pass. I mean, I don't know, they must have said something that they wouldn't increase the price after the Activision merger, but then I guess like over time, I mean, they'll have to, because these are games that are expensive to make, so they gotta get that money back. And I wonder if the subscribers will increase or it will decrease or just like slightly flatline from this price increase. Yeah, so I wanted to hand this off to Henry, because you've been a huge proponent of Game Pass since you've been playing all these like new day one releases such as Persona. Did you play Starfield?
Yeah, I played it. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's meh as heck. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, with this increase, are you going to be paying $20 a month? Because that's what you pay for, right? The Ultimate tier.
Yeah, I pay for Ultimate because it's the best deal. Yeah. And plus, I use cloud gaming a lot.
Yeah.
I stream games to the cloud to my Steam Deck, and that's how I really play most of the games I play on Game Pass. But
that's convenient.
Yeah, very convenient, right? But now, of course, they're kind of locking xCloud behind Ultimate for the most part. So yeah. I think the big question, obviously, like you mentioned, is like, will people be willing to pay this? Is it still a good deal? And I still think it definitely is, even at, say, $240 a month. I mean, I don't pay even now I don't pay the actual sticker price on those things. I wait for a sale and then kind of bulk up on subscription like months or the packages in that way, right. And then I redeem them as they go. So they also, something that's not listed here, but they also put a cap on how long you can do that. Currently, you can stack up to 3 years of months in Game Pass, and now they've limited it to 1.
Oh, wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not very nice for people like me. But again, like you can just save these codes, put them in a drawer, and pull them out when your subscription, expires. But it's still not very, it's not consumer friendly. It's not, fun for me to do that. I'd rather just put them in and not have to think about it anymore. But I still think even for $240 a year, it's still honestly worth it for me. Of course, like we've discussed Game Pass in the past, and it's very much like a Gold's Gym membership or any Planet Fitness or whatever, any gym membership, is like really, if you use it every day, it's like a steal. If you use it all the time, it's an excellent investment. But if you are rarely ever using it, it's completely not worth your money at all. And here, I think that the same concept applies. I use it all the time, so of course I'm getting my money's worth. As long as even with that pricing, I still have to play 4 games a year in order to get my money back, or make money off of the subscription. Like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that because I'm a hardcore gamer who is going to play a lot of the games on the service. I think, you get obviously to people who are less likely to pick it up, or more casual audiences who aren't going to be playing those 4 games or so a year. That's a lot harder to sell. I think what I take from this is like there's 2 big things I take from this, and one of them is they are absolutely killing their console market here. Out of all of the changes they've made, the biggest one is obviously the cancellation of the console tier and moving it to the quote-unquote standard, or changing it to the quote-unquote standard tier. And all that does is, it just takes away, the ability for console players, people with an Xbox who invested in the hardware to play these day one releases. That's it. Mm-hmm. Anybody with a PC can do that, and anybody who's paying the top tier of Ultimate, which is obviously the one they want you to subscribe to because it's the most money, which, fun fact, about 75% of subscribers for Game Pass are actually on that Ultimate tier. So, like, they're really... Wow. This move is really just milking that Ultimate tier more so than anything else and hurting the console tier and people who invested in the hardware, which is very interesting to me that they would feel the need to do that. And it just makes it seem like it's almost a double down that we don't care about the hardware at all anymore, which seems to be what they've been kind of foretelling in a lot of these, Game Pass moves. And the other one is their big marketing thing. This is kind of another question mark for me here is, their big marketing thing is day one with Game Pass. And they can no longer say that because now there's a Game Pass tier that they have to put a little asterisk by every single time that that does not come with day one releases. So it kind of mucks up their marketing in a weird way. And it just seemed like something they were so invested in, and they aren't moving forward with that anymore, which is obviously they are, but like, it's not all encompassing. But anyway, that was a long ramble. Cam, what do you think?
No, I think you are entitled to ramble on that because you have the most familiarity with it by far out of all 3 of us. So I think that makes a lot of sense, honestly. And yeah, I mean, to me, it's one of those things where, it's unfortunate that price goes up on any kind of subscription service that, a lot of people are using just because, well, I mean, it sucks to have to pay more money. But I think with the way things have been going the past, I don't know, a few years financially in general in the world, like, it doesn't surprise me that they're bumping this up. And like, honestly, as far as in the video game space alone, it's like PS Plus, as we can probably all recall, just went a big price increase last year, or maybe at the beginning of this year. I feel like that was pretty recent, but I don't remember exactly how recent that was. But anyways,
last year.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was. Point is, like, it sucks. It sucks to have to pay more money. The thing I will say, Henry, that you said that surprised me is how many people are on the Ultimate tier, because in my mind, when you're talking about Ultimate for Game Pass, or when you're talking about PlayStation Plus Premium, in my mind, that is like, I wouldn't say specific is the right word for it, but it's definitely not the common consumer. We've talked about this a lot, this concept of like, there are a lot of, gamers that are going to play like 3 or 4 games a year. Some people that even play like 1 or 2. And, for there to be that many people on Ultimate is actually quite surprising to me. So I'm glad you kind of mentioned that. But I think, $20 a month, and even, it was 16, now 20. I think anything above, I'll just call it 15 in my mind, but, everybody's money limit is going to be different, I think. Anything above 15, I think you just sit down and you do the math, right? How many games am I going to buy? How many games am I playing for free? Well, free quotes, right? From Game Pass. And then you make your mind up and you just kind of continually evaluate that as the price goes up, right? So like now it's at 20. Okay, well, are you playing like 4 hours of video games a month? Then you probably shouldn't be on Game Pass Ultimate anymore at $20, right? But I don't know. I think it's a very individual proposition. Everybody looks at money differently. Everybody has different amounts of what I'll call fun money to spend on video gaming. So it's like, just kind of make your own educated decision as far as, the price increase goes. And hey, if you feel like it's better to cancel now, then go ahead and cancel. If you feel like it's better to move down a tier, then, move down a tier. I will say, as it pertains to me specifically, we've talked before about, this concept of like me diving into the Microsoft catalog. I would probably see myself doing that through a Steam Deck, similar to you, Henry. But if this increases there's another price increase before I actually get around to getting a console that's capable of having Game Pass on it, well, you continue to make it a little bit more of a harder decision for me, right? If that continues to be the case. So I think, as far as pricing goes, like, yeah, it'd be glorious for all of us if all these subscription services were $5 a month. Obviously they can't do that. So yeah, I would say at the end of the day, just kind of, evaluate your own decision and see if Game Pass still works for you. And hey, maybe it doesn't. I will say, as somebody who plays a lot of games myself, I was and am still on PlayStation Plus Extra, but I would not make the jump to Premium because there's just not a lot of extra value for me there. So, yeah,
I get that.
I think it's just, I think that's just the best way to go about it, honestly.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, with all these subscriptions, because you mentioned PS Plus Extra, and like, I feel like the quality like varies each month. Don't you think? Like,
sure.
Because they add like games like each month, and they announce it like just now for July, I believe. For PS Plus Extra, they added Crisis Core and Remnant 2, and like other games and stuff. But they're like games that are like almost like a year or two old, or like more than that, honestly. So it's just like, it's tough because like you never know if you bought these games before, and that's the thing with like PS Plus Extra, is that I just wouldn't be buying that compared to Game Pass. I think Game Pass is more appealing to me,
sure,
because it's the day one games, and then I feel like you get more with your money, even though you do pay more, right? Because the Ultimate's like $20 a month, which is like a lot, and that's why I don't really do subscriptions for like mostly anything in general, because you got to be dedicated to it, and like honestly, if you're not using it, you feel like you're wasting money. And I like Henry's method of just like, if I can play like 3 full games in a year, or is it 4, then I got my money's worth. But I think it depends on like the games that are like announced, or like they're coming out that year, because like you mentioned like Starfield, you thought it was meh, but did you think it was worth the value of Game Pass when it came out last year?
Yeah, because I was gonna play Starfield no matter what. Like I like Bethesda games,
Right.
so and I like Skyrim and Fallout and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
I was gonna play Starfield. It was just Game Pass gave me a way to play it day one for a cheaper price. So I was always gonna spend $70 on it.
Mhm.
It was just a matter of, they gave me a better way to do it.
Did you finish it, by the way?
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah.
Did you talk about it in the podcast or no?
No, I finished it. I played it before we started the podcast.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Day one, see,
Yeah, nice.
So Starfield came out a while back.
So you're
that's
gonna
fine.
you're gonna play the expansion as well, Shattered Space.
Nah, I think I talked about that when I did not like the base game, so
Mhm.
like I don't care about what the expansions are. So no, I'm not going to be touching it.
We
Okay.
never
Yeah, just
do
making
this on the
sure.
podcast, so I hate to put you on the spot, Henry. Don't hate me for this. What score out of 10 would you give Starfield? Just off the top of your head.
Now that I hate you, for asking that.
There we go.
Well, no, I'd say like a 6.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
like, not good.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like a 6. It was not good. Not good, baby. It's I think like an 82 or something like on Metacritic. I think that's insanely high. At least for what it was when it came out.
It was
not good.
I feel like it got the how do you say it? The honeymoon treatment for like reviews, because I remember people when it was coming out, it was getting 4 out of 5s. I even saw like 1 5 out of 5 or something, and like that's what I saw with like the scores and stuff. And it's funny, like over time it just kept going down, like over, and then same with like Steam reviews, and now it's like mixed or something. So yeah, it's just funny.
Wouldn't recommend it. Definitely play an older Bethesda game or
True.
traditional Bethesda game.
Same
No
with
bueno.
same with like Game Pass. I think next year would be a good investment because you get that new Call of Duty game, and then you also get I think Doom: The Dark Age is coming out next year, and there's a whole slew of games coming out like in 2025 that I think will be much worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you watch that conference and you say there's clearly value in Game Pass because all of these games are coming to Game Pass. Like I think if anybody was impressed by that showing, you have a reason to get Game Pass because you have all that stuff coming to the service.
Right.
So I will say that I am surprised they made this move before Call of Duty came out. You would have assumed that they would have hiked the price after they got everybody, with their mouths watering, already in the subscription for Call of Duty. So I think that's also something to point out too.
Yeah. And then like of course like next year is gonna be like another Call of Duty. So then it's like I wonder if I think that will be in Game Pass. So then it's just like there's gonna be 2 Call of Duty games that are like on Game Pass day one. It's just like I guess that's why they increase the price because it's not gonna be cheap. And who knows if people are gonna be subscribing just for Call of Duty or something like that. So
I think they want people who want it for just Call of Duty. I think you mentioned earlier, and it was a great point, like Microsoft specifically after buying Activision said, we aren't going to raise the price on this. Don't worry. This will not affect Game Pass. And then literally, less than a year later, they've made a price increase because of course they would. Of course they do.
That's why I'm not surprised.
A massive $1 billion, acquiring of a company for this service. Like, of course it's going to knock up the price. Duh. So it's funny that they even said that.
Yep. And then I wonder what other games are coming out because I know there was that one Fallout 3 remake. I think from those like list of games that got leaked during the FTC hearing. So yeah, and then of course you wonder if Square Enix might come in and just give them like an extra like game. Maybe they might get FF16, so that's like more games for next year. So same with like other companies as well, like third parties. Like you gotta wonder if other companies are like forcing or making sure that they're getting their money's worth with putting these games on Game Pass because if they put it on Game Pass it's not going to sell, so there's like all on that Game Pass contract that's going to get them the most money. So yeah, just if you're surprised that it was increased, then I don't know what to say because I mean, they got to pay off that $70 billion merger and stuff. So I mean, there you go. You gotta wonder if Game Pass will be on more systems, because I know there was that whole thing about Microsoft IPs coming to PlayStation. I think I read something that Starfield and maybe Halo will be on PS5 next year. So, yeah,
they will definitely bring everything.
Oh,
They're
man,
bring everything, no doubt. I mean, like, they haven't confirmed that, but that's just seems to be the business strategy, what they're gonna do moving forward.
Yeah, because Sea of Thieves did well for them. So, like, it was charting on PlayStation. So.
It was number 1 on PlayStation for a couple months, I think.
Yeah, surprise. So, all I care about, can we get Banjo or something on PlayStation? Man,
Banjo's so good.
I just want to play that game. Yeah, it's only on the Switch. I ain't trying to pay a subscription just to play that. So, yeah, that's it for Xbox Game Pass. So if you want to look up the price increases and see if you're affected by it, look up an article on VGC. So, they got everything on there. It's pretty easy to find out like how much you're gonna be paying for Game Pass and all the new subscriptions. It's kind of confusing because there's like different tiers and you don't know what's day one. So like take a look at it and you can get an idea of what which one you should be buying. So yeah, that's it for Xbox Game Pass. So let's get into these other news topics. Horizon Zero Dawn or which is the Sony IP. There was like a Netflix series that was in development, but it is reportedly not moving forward, and it's unclear if there will be a different team working on it. This was reported by the Rolling Stone. Apparently, there was like a different articles and stuff that accused like the showrunner of like toxic behavior, bullying, manipulative, retaliatory, all that stuff. So that might have been one of the reasons why. But so when they announced it, they said it was like a well-crafted game, wonderful characters. Aloy is like a young warrior, all this stuff. And I guess now they're just not going to be working on it, because I remember they announced this and the God of War TV show for Amazon. And I believe the God of War TV adaptation with Amazon is still ongoing. So I think the God of War one would make more sense than Horizon, because I think Horizon is just like, it's a weird IP because it's like Sony's best IP that sells like a lot of copies, honestly, but it just doesn't like appeal like to me and stuff. And then you also had that like Lego Horizon spin-off that is coming to like these consoles and stuff like Switch, PC as well. And you gotta wonder if maybe that was part of the planned expansion for like this TV show. Maybe it can coincide with both. And same with like there's like a remaster as well for Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS5. So there's like a lot of Horizon stuff in the making, but unfortunately the TV show, the Netflix series, is unclear the future. So if you're a fan of Horizon, I'm sorry to say, but it probably won't be continuing. So I don't know if were any of you guys interested in this, because I don't know how I feel about some of these games being like long like TV shows. I know there was Fallout that was successful, but it was just different because like Fallout had like a team behind it with like people that are fans of like the IP, and like they had like a good cast and stuff, and like it had good reviews on it, even though there was like some parts people didn't like about the Fallout TV show. But for this, it's weird because Horizon compared to Fallout is like I feel like his league's different, because Fallout's more interesting to me, like the setting and like all the different things in that world, like the power armor, the ghouls, and like the vaults, and all that stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to like chime in on this about Horizon, because I feel like I'm more interested in the God of War adaptation, honestly. Like,
yeah,
I do wonder, like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think you make a good point with the God of War compared to Horizon. I think God of War probably better adaptation or more adaptable in my opinion than Horizon. But I mean, I think Horizon could certainly be a show. I think there's enough there to like make a show out of it. It's just I don't know. I and this is just a personal thing of mine that clearly not a lot of people agree with, because these video game shows have actually been doing pretty well. You know, Twisted Metal, like you said, Fallout. I honestly just don't really care to watch shows about these things for two reasons. One, I'd rather just play it. And for two, like, at least as it pertains to most of them, I don't like already knowing the story. Now, I will say The Last of Us is like the one exception to this for me, where like I still watched it. I actually wasn't really, but even then, I wasn't really curious about watching it. I kind of got roped into watching it with a friend of mine, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, I'm glad I did because it ended up being really entertaining. But just in general, I just don't like care much because I'm like, oh, I already know what happens in The Last of Us, so like I won't be surprised at all or anything like that. Now, with that being said, I don't think that's the most popular opinion because obviously, like I said, these shows do pretty well, and I think Fallout was, I'm not super intimately familiar with Fallout, but from my understanding, it was quite different than any of the games, or like its own.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's like its own story. I guess is a better way of putting it, but. So I guess I don't say that to say like, they shouldn't make anything into a show because it's definitely not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying like, when you're talking about possibilities, it's hard for me to even give you a good solid like opinion or like a good like game I could point to and be like, oh yeah, adapt this, because I just don't really care about them much in general, I would say. However, they've been doing pretty well. So like, if we're talking because the big thing with The Last of Us and Fallout that I heard was the people that have not played video games or haven't played them in a very long time still watching those shows, right? So if you said to me, that's the recipe for success, right? Make something that even the people who didn't play it care about, then I would tell you, in my personal opinion, yeah, I definitely think God of War over Horizon probably fits that criteria a little bit better. I think God of War it's got like a nice familiarity in the sense of like, people are familiar with mythology. So like, you don't have to really educate yourself about that. I mean, yes, not everybody knows all the intimate details, but you understand conceptually what it's about. And also, I just think in general, the story for God of War is like a little bit more, what's the right word for it? I think it's a bit more palatable to like people in general than Horizon, but, yeah, I don't know. I think as far as this particular news story, right, which is, essentially the Horizon show getting canceled, I would say this, the stuff is coming out. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but this stuff comes out like all the time. It's like people will just find it impossible to not be a scumbag in, media creation world, whether it's movies, video games, production, whatever the case might be. To me, this is just like another case of like, oh, nice, we have a bunch of dumb idiots again that are doing terrible stuff. And it's just getting really exhausting for me personally. I've gotten to the point now, and, this is just my personal opinion, but I've gotten to the point now where it's like, they say, what is that saying? Like, don't meet your heroes. It's like, I don't idolize like any creator anymore if I ever really did, because like, there's so many people that just have so much shit that like you don't hear about until it's quote too late. Like in this instance where it's like, oh yeah, he's already done all this stuff and now it's coming out and yeah, now the show's canceled. I'm just exhausted with all of this. I guess that's my long story short on all that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this because like Horizon is just like an IP that I just don't find any interest in. Like you say, God of War is like more palatable, and same with like The Last of Us. Like The Last of Us, like when you play, you're like, yeah, this makes perfect sense for like a TV show or something like that. And I think it was very faithful because I remember seeing like clips of it, and it was almost like shot for shot. Like I know the ending of like The Last of Us, well, the first one, and the TV show was just like very similar. In terms of like how it was like captured and then all the dialogue as well. And yeah, you want to say anything about this, Henry? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I'll chime in. It seems like you guys are having a very nice conversation about if video games should be adapted. I guess I'll chime in on that. It will be that, yeah, I think TV shows are actually the best way to adapt like a video game, because video games are just so long form in general. If you're gonna adapt it, I think definitely adapt it in a long form TV show. But I will. Cam's opinion did definitely interest me. You said you get a lot of pushback on it, and I can kind of see why, but I also understand your perspective as well. I guess my question to you would be, do you think that's because the video game adaptations you've seen are bad? Because you said you liked the Last of Us adaptation. So if the video game adaptations were just better, would you say that makes it worth making or worth watching, even if you've played the game before?
You know what's interesting about that is I think it's actually, and this is something we've definitely talked about before, I think it's actually more so, like, I think it's less that the ones I've seen are bad and more so my well-documented on this podcast hypersensitivity to spoilers, because when I see an adaptation, especially The Last of Us is a good example, right? Where it's like, okay, I know, quote, and yes, I know they changed some stuff in the show, but I know every big story beat that's going to happen. So I find and this is something for me with a lot of things, like goes beyond video games, but like if I know what's going to happen, I get a lot less enjoyment out of it. I think that is a big part of it. And I'll give you an example. Like if they were like, oh, we're going to make a super high budget adaptation of Final Fantasy VII right now, I would be like, I don't care. I've already been playing it. I already know pretty much everything that's going to happen. Well, up to this point. So I think it's more so the spoiler thing, but I do think you're onto something there too, though. I do think you're onto something because, yes, as I think back on the ones that I have seen, most of them have been bad. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of not even a fair shake, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, though.
And you strike me as a reader as well. So I'm assuming you read books.
Yeah.
If you ever saw a movie that was adapted from a book, would you not like that as much as well?
That is so
because most movies are adapted from books, or a lot of them are. Not most, but a lot of them are.
Sure. No, I think it's so funny you bring that up because I haven't brought that up on here yet. But it's funny. So I do read a lot. First of all, and second of all, it's funny you say that because yes, I actually usually don't watch a movie of something if I have read it already. So yeah, I think that definitely feeds into it as well. That's funny that I hadn't thought about that yet.
Okay. I mean, well then your opinion carries through no matter how much I try to poke at it. So very well done. Yeah. All right. So that makes sense. That's just your taste. It makes sense.
Sure.
But as for the Horizon show, obviously, glad bad people don't get to make TV shows. That's nice. But I don't know as much about the TV side of things and how production works in that way. But I'm assuming Sony's probably just going to market this off to somebody else. I'm assuming it goes back to Sony and they get to make it again. But in general, I am honestly okay if they don't. If they don't want to make this show anymore, good. I have enough Horizon, especially in the future. I mean, in the VGC article we're linking, they even mention, we have another Horizon game that's going to wrap up the planned trilogy, and then they're remaking the original game for the PlayStation 5 like they did with The Last of Us, and they're making an MMO, and they just announced a Lego game, and then they had this TV show, and I'm like, I don't need that much Horizon in my life. That's too much Horizon. And I think building off of what Alexis said as well, like, I don't know anybody who really cares about Horizon that much. Like, I like Horizon. I've played both the games. I played both the expansions too, and I enjoy the games. But like this series kind of feels like the Avatar, like James Cameron's Avatar to me. Yes. This is like a super profitable, super successful series, but like I know nobody who cares about it. Like I don't know a massive Horizon fan. Like I've never just come across one in my life before. So I don't need this show. I'm honestly kind of relieved it's not like it'll definitely still appear somewhere down the line, but like this just gives me more time without Horizon, so I'm okay with that. But that's all I have to say on it.
Yeah, I just got nothing else to say. I just want to see other IP get that treatment. Like, I don't know. I think Uncharted would be good. I mean, there
They
was
got a movie for them.
yeah, but it's different because like a movie and a show is like the show, like you can expand on the characters and it's like more development over time. And like a movie is like you gotta finish it in like 2 hours. And yeah, I didn't like Tom Holland as Drake.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit, honestly. And I read that they're doing another movie, so
Yep.
They're definitely. It was a super successful
oh,
adaptation. Yeah, they're
Man.
definitely doing another one.
yeah, it's weird. I don't know about any other IP though. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think God of War might be the one to save us. I think that would be cool to see, but I wonder if it'll be live action, right? God of War, honestly.
I would think so. It's
Yeah.
probably way easier to do a live action God of War
Yeah.
than a live action Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if we're wrapping up on adaptations, I gotta say it again. I've said it on here before. Please watch Arcane, people. It is so good.
Okay. Is it?
Okay.
Because it doesn't appeal to me because it's like sort of has that League of Legends
good.
stench on it. Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
yeah, I've heard it's good no matter what, even
Mm.
if you have no idea what League of Legends is.
Oh, okay. That's the only thing that's pulling me back. It's just I'm just not interested in League of Legends. So if you say it's good, then I'll take your word on it. But how many episodes is that one?
Gosh, I think like 10. It's like
10?
10 1-hour episodes or something. Yeah, it's not very long.
Got it. And then I know there's another season, I think, for next year. So
Yep.
you hyped for that?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm so ready for that. Yeah, I think
All
I
right.
want to say it won an Oscar. I'm pretty sure for animated series.
It-
Either probably an Emmy actually, because it would be
Yeah.
Yeah, Emmy.
yeah. So.
I remember that. Yeah.
But,
Because I know it was fighting Cyberpunk for like an award or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that. So yep, you got Cam's word on Arcane. So watch that instead if you're down by No Horizon. Next thing we could talk about really quick is Pocketpair. So the studio behind Palworld, the huge Palworld. Hey, remember when this game came out earlier this year? This was taking over the world by storm. And I guess they're partnering with Sony now to create a new Palworld company. And it's a partnership with Sony Music Entertainment Japan, which will develop global marketing and merchandise outside of the game. And you gotta wonder where the hell is Palworld on PS5? So I know they teased Palworld for PS5 on via their Twitter and stuff. One of the developers was like tweeting cryptic stuff like that. But yeah, they're partnering with Sony to create like merchandise and stuff. So I guess they're gonna be one of the plans is to bring it to more platforms. Maybe even Switch too. But well, I mean, they might make merchandise like Pokemon. I guess they want to make it big, like that brand, because
That's exactly what they want. Yeah.
But like, Pokemon is just like a different beast. Honestly, it's just like Pokemon just appeals to me more than Palworld, and like Pokemon just has that staying power from like all the way from the '90s till now. It's just like you can't break that connection. And I wonder if they're gonna make any merchandise like Pokemon, like cards or even like plushies or like just random obscure stuff. I know there's like new Pokemon Crocs coming out soon, so then you got like different stuff like that. And yeah, there's just like merchandise. They said that it will debut in Bilibili World in Shanghai, China this week, so that's when development will begin for exclusive merchandise. So I don't really find the Palworld monsters that unique or very like captivating compared to Pokemon. Well, compared to like older Pokemon, like I know like Pokemon Gen 1 through 5, like it has like a distinct feeling to it, like where those are Pokemon. I don't know about the new Pokemon. Like some of the new ones, it's just like it doesn't really capture my eye and stuff. So I know like Pokemon, like they're like running on nostalgia because they do use like their older designs from like generation 1 or 2 to like sell merchandise. So
Yeah, definitely.
because I remember one of my friends, he has Squishmallows. So if you don't know what's Squishmallow, it's like a round animal and it's supposed to be like a plushie, but they're weirdly designed. They're like squished basically, and there's like different Pokemon like Pikachu, Dragonite, Gengar, and stuff like that. And they sell a lot of them. Like they're like $30 for like a 12-inch plushie. So yeah, I mean just merchandise like that, I believe, for Palworld. And did you play this, Henry, when it was on Game Pass? Because when this game was like blowing up and stuff, and it's just like, I wonder if it doesn't even have that staying power to like continue, because I know that they're having an expansion coming out, which came out last month actually. And
yeah. I played it. Played it. Oh, go ahead. You can finish up your thought.
I just wanted to hand it off to you because I don't know. I feel like Palworld's just like it just I don't know. Not to be mean, probably just like fell off maybe. It doesn't appeal to me compared to when it first came out. I was just like, oh, I want to play this, but it's only on Xbox, or it's only on PC. You need a beefy PC to play this. I'm like, nah, never mind. So
yeah, it was on Game Pass, so of course I played it. But I played it actually for the podcast just to talk about it because it was so huge back when it initially released. Like that was the only thing people were talking about. But I found it to be good, actually. Maybe not great, but it's still early access, so that of course negates all criticism anyone has of any game that's ever in early access, is because it's not done yet. But this move seems, after having played the game, I can tell you this move seems incredibly premature. Like this is one game that isn't even fully released yet, and we have decided to basically create an entirely separate company that is only going to be responsible for building brand and merch. Like that seems like a lot. That seems like a lot for a game that, like Alexis said, I'm not going to say it's fallen off per se, because it still has, like I checked last night just for kicks and giggles, like how many people are actually playing Palworld right now, and it's like, well, over 20,000 people are playing right now actively on Steam, which is a very large number of players. But of course, comparative to the number of players that were in the game at the beginning of the year, it's minimal. It's comparatively. But that being said, like that happens to literally every game after release. So it's hard I'd have to do a lot more research to understand exactly how much it's quote unquote fallen off. But I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore. Sure. So I think it's definitely something that they probably should have held off on, maybe wait for another game to see if this brand has any kind of staying power, long-lasting nature, like Pokemon. I mean, this is obviously the same thing. Like Game Freak partnered with, I believe, Nintendo to do everything outside of the Pokemon brand. It was some other company, maybe not Nintendo, but Game Freak was obviously the people who made Pokemon, and they partnered with another company just like this to make all their merchandise. So I don't know. This just seems like Palworld is getting a little big for its britches, I think.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know if I would buy Palworld merch because I haven't really played it. But would you buy it, Henry? Like, would you buy it?
Heck no. I don't care about it. I don't care about Palworld at all. I played it for like maybe 4 to 6 hours when it first came out, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is Pokemon, but like with Minecraft elements, and that was as far as I needed to go. I understood it, and so I'm sure that scratches a big itch for a lot of people. And even I was like, I see the appeal here, but I mean, I feel like this developer, from what we talked about on the podcast initially, like I didn't realize this developer was like a copy and paste bandit. Like they just basically like rip off other people's games. And like I wouldn't trust a developer like that to continue making a valuable IP. Like they clearly don't have any talent that's inherently their own.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Like I said, just still premature. I don't care enough about this brand as a whole, but I guess they've done research somewhere that shows that a lot of people do, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, not at all. So, I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Cam, because are you a Pokemon fan or not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about this story, to tell you the truth. I agree with a lot of what Henry said. I honestly do not really care about Palworld at all. The gameplay, to me, it's like, if I want creatures, I want it in a Pokemon style of gameplay. So it already loses for me there.
Right.
And then also on top of that, it's like I actually do enjoy Pokemon quite a bit, but I have never been, even when I was younger, I was never really the type that got like overly attached to the Pokemon that I had. In fact, I actually like do this thing where I try to actually change up the party throughout the entire game. So I like to not keep any Pokemon the whole game, which is kind of goofy. But my point of bringing that up is like I don't get attached to that aspect of the game. To me, I just like the way that they play. And I do like, the dynamics of like the evolutions and the different types. It's like a very unique kind of turn-based game system, right? It's almost like Persona-y in that regard. But yeah, as far as Palworld goes, I honestly don't care. And I will say something Henry said that I like massively agree with is like the concept of this studio. I fully agree. It's like they do nothing of their own. So like, what is kind of the best case scenario for them in the future? What does that look like? Because in my mind, it's not that high of a ceiling. But maybe I'm just pessimistic about, this company. So I don't know. But that's kind of all I really had to say about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that thing with their company and their developers using like AI and copy and paste. Because I remember there was that one thing where they compared one of the previous games to Breath of the Wild and had like a similar style and gameplay.
Dude,
and stuff.
it was basically the same freaking cover picture. It was insane. Like, the protagonist leaning
bad.
on Link's motorcycle basically was what it was. So
yeah,
I remember you shared that link live on the podcast. And we got a live reaction of like how my jaw just dropped. You could hear it hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous.
Yep.
Same with some of the monster designs in Palworld. It's like they're too similar to Pokemon. Like some of them, like it's like so similar. It's like this probably used AI and then they just redrew it or they worked around it and stuff to make sure that it doesn't look exactly like a Pokemon. And same with the gameplay. It's just I think open world survival crafting is just I'm over that. Like if I want to play, I'll play Minecraft, and that's good enough for me. Anything else is just like you got to learn all these new systems. It's like a full-time job just trying to like build the world or like trying to navigate it and stuff. It's just like I'm good on that, and just gameplay Pokemon is just appealing to me, even though it is outdated. Honestly, like it's like how come the Pokemon games just don't have voice acting or they're too like kid friendly and stuff like that? Even though I know it is a kids game, but like come on, like can we make this game a bit harder and stuff? So yeah, that's I feel like that's it for Palworld. So if you're looking to buy Palworld's plushies, stay tuned. I like the Nessie design, but it sort of looks like the one from like Apex. Like it's like green in Apex, and here it's blue and stuff. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Palworld. Good luck to them with their new partnership with Sony. Maybe they bring it to PS5 and see if there's an increase in sales. So let's get into these two closing segments before we get into our impressions. So for this one, I don't know if you guys seen this, but I remember seeing like in the morning on Twitter, and I didn't know what the hell it was from Nintendo, so I just scrolled past it by it because I thought it was just like a promotion for like a new third-party game. But they were talking about a game called Emio, and the hashtag was "Who is Emio?" And it was like when you click on the link or when you look up like Emio, you get like some person in like a brown bag with a smiley face on it. On the Twitter post, it's in like Japanese kanji. It says smiling man, so that's what Emio means for this, and it's surprising because I think it's like a new IP. We still don't know what it is yet, but there's a lot of speculation about it. But the interesting that caught my eye was that it was an adult rated game, so it's rated M for mature. So you gotta wonder if there's gonna be any gore, violence, or anything like something like horror elements in it. And they're looking up like details of it, and it's like a Japanese horror game. It seems like so. I'm not sure what kind of like games are in that genre, so we'll see more once we get more information about Emio. But I just found out that there was like a website for it. So if you could, there's like I didn't link it here in the notes, but there's like a Japanese website dedicated for it. And so I was thinking, man, this might be bigger than we think, because I thought it was just like some smaller project. And we don't even know when this is gonna come out. People are speculating probably Halloween, because I know Halloween is huge in Japan. Actually, like it's one of the holidays that they like to celebrate, and they dress up and they go like in the city and stuff. I don't know if do you guys watch Jujutsu Kaisen? Or
Yeah. Great show.
There was like this amazing show. There was like this there's like one of the seasons where it's Halloween in Shibuya, and everybody's dressed up and stuff. So I just wanted to bring that up, how Halloween is bigger than people might think. So this might be coming out in Halloween, because there might be like a last direct before the end of the year, so we might see that in there. So I don't know if you guys saw this interesting, because it was rated M for mature, so it was just like one of the rare Nintendo IPs that's rated that. I know Bayonetta is, but that's like that's not like Nintendo. I feel like that's like more like third party, but even though it is exclusive to Nintendo. So yeah, this is interesting. I do want to learn more about this game, because I'm always open to more horror games that are higher quality, and Nintendo, hopefully it's higher quality for this game. So yeah, this was an interesting one, because it's like a new IP already, like 8 years into the Switch. So I don't know if any of you are into horror games. So you wanna add anything to this, Henry? Are you interested at all with Emio? Interesting name.
I can't say that I am, to be quite honest. Like, I think the big thing that it's surprising me that this has gotten so much attention. It really has. Like, a lot of people are talking about it. I think really what makes it so interesting, it is a Nintendo game that's rated M. That's like really what's piquing people's interest here. I personally, we don't know. We literally know nothing about it, other than it's Nintendo and rated M, and there's a guy with a paper bag and that has a smiling face on it. Like, that's really all we got.
It's very generic horror, honestly. Like,
yeah. It's not enough to pique my interest, to be quite honest. It's viral marketing. It's ambiguous for that sake, and it's got a lot of people talking, so it's done its job. But I am more of a concrete guy. Like, I really want a lot more details before I start getting my hopes up on anything. I've been let down too many times, so by a lot of gaming marketing like this. So I'd like to see a little bit more before I get too excited.
Yeah. I just found it interesting. That's why I added it, because it's just like, it was so random. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, what the hell is this? So I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Cameron. So if you don't got anything to say, we can move on to the next topic if you want.
Yeah, it's tough with this one, because it's like Henry said. We just know literally nothing, so it's difficult to say. But I also agree with you, Henry. I don't think really a Nintendo. I think Nintendo making this game is like lowered my interest, which is like kind of mean to say, I guess, but it's like I don't know. I don't really trust Nintendo to pull this off. So I personally don't really have my eye on it, but I don't know. It's an interesting story, to say the least. So.
Yeah, so stay tuned for Emio. So in the next direct, keep your eye on this. I believe we'll see more of that. So yeah, it's cool to see. And the last topic before we get into our impressions is this just happened pretty recently. I'm sort of like a casual Apex player. Like, I only play it with my friend who is like huge into it. So we will play like from time to time. And they're so Respawn or EA or whatever, they're going to be charging people actual money for battle passes starting next season. So I know there might be not a lot of people that could care about this, but this could be a shakeup in the industry, honestly, because this could be like the first domino for other companies to start charging real money for battle passes. Because before, like, battle passes, like, you buy them with currency, and then the currency you can buy it back the next season if you play enough. So you don't got to worry about spending $10 each season. But here, only for this season, you'll be able to buy it. But starting next season, it'll cost $20 for the full battle pass. So this is not even like $10 for just like full battle pass the whole season, which is I think people will be more fine with. But you had to pay $10 for half of it, and then near the end of the season you pay $10 for the other half of it. So you're gonna have to be finishing 2 battle passes in one season. So if one wasn't enough, you gotta finish 2 of them. And it's only purchasable with money. So it was possible before by saving up coins, because you could get it back and buy it each season if you played enough. So if you're huge into Apex, like you didn't have to worry about that. So like if this is like your main game, it's a good investment. $10, you get your coins back and buy it each season. You get like all these cool skins and stuff like that. But they promised more rewards with this new battle pass. So like there'll be more stuff in it. They haven't really elaborated which kind of stuff is in it, because the quality varies honestly with these battle passes. Because I remember buying one of the battle passes because I saved up enough coins from like the free tier. So after like almost like 11 seasons, I managed to buy it for free, and it was just like okay. Like the only good thing was the end of the pass, which gave you like a cool animated skin for like a one gun. So it's just like people are not convinced, because the battle passes usually suck in Apex, honestly. So that's why people are pissed. And then you have people saying, "Oh, this game is dying." They're trying to like milk it and stuff like that. But I just found it egregious that they're going to be charging $20 for just one season, because there's like 4 seasons in a year, and it's $20 for a full battle pass that you still have to play games. And it's just like, I'm tired of the battle pass system, man. It's like I'm tired of that shit. Like, man, I don't know why. Like, I know why, but like I just hate grinding for battle passes. Like I see like in every game, like online multiplayer game, I just ignore it, thankfully. But I know it's like, oh my god, it's so annoying. I don't know, because I know you guys are not into multiplayer games that much, but like you guys know what a battle pass is, right? Like
yeah.
So
I'm
like
familiar.
it's like that bullshit where like you have to play it like full time to finish it.
Exactly.
It's just, and if you don't, then you miss out on rewards. It's like FOMO and stuff, which is like, that's why I got tired of like these games. It's just like, I'm not buying your battle pass anymore, man. Just give me that shit, or like make it so I can, if I come back, I can finish it later, instead of like I have to play the season to finish it and get those rewards, unless I lose it forever. Because I know there's people that are still looking for items from the older battle passes, and they sell Apex, actually they sell those older battle pass items in the item shop, but you have to pay like a premium for like $30. And this is not even accounting for the heirlooms. So like heirlooms are like animated special melee weapons for characters, and like the cost of one of them is $200. So like you have to pay yeah, it's just a melee weapon. It's like just a cosmetic, honestly, because it's like the same damage as like your punch, but it just has like a weapon for that character, and it's like cool animations and stuff. And then yeah, it's just scummy overall. And it's just crazy that they're charging $20 for this. And I do wonder if other companies are going to be looking at this, maybe even Fortnite, because I remember Fortnite was talking about how they're losing money from the battle pass. They're not gaining as much money because people just save up V-Bucks each season, and they might just look into like for like a paid battle pass. And yeah, I'm just tired of like these battle passes, man. It's just like every time I see them in any game I see, it's just like, it's so annoying. It's just like I don't care about this shit. Like, yeah, I'm just like, it's just so greedy to see this from Apex, because I know, you know, people are pissed at like the state of the game like every season, honestly. Like they just get mad, but they keep coming back. So it's just like, whose fault is it really, honestly? So just speak with your wallet if you don't want to pay $20 for a full pass. And you know, that's like the price of like a game pass for like a month. So it's just like, you're better off just paying for that 1 month and just getting much more value from it, instead of like this battle pass for like one game for like with cosmetics. You don't even know if the game's gonna shut down. So that was just my little rant with this. I just wanted to add it because it was like what the fuck is this? Like I stopped playing this game right when everything was going down the shithole with this game. So you guys don't have to add anything, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts on $20 for a season of battle pass. Yeah, I don't know where you guys want to take this.
Cam, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I think to your point, Alexis, I mean, not an Apex guy myself, so I'll keep mine fairly brief. But I think in general, I mean, It's the next evolution, right? It's the next evolution of the battle passes 2-in-1 season. Why don't we just do another one? That's kind of how they're thinking. I mean, look, this is always a really tough thing to talk about, Alexis, to tell you the truth, because like I feel the same way as you, where it's like, yes, on one hand, it's annoying and it's really scummy that they did this. On the other hand, if people are lining up in the streets to buy the battle pass, then I'm like, okay, guys, they're gonna keep doing it. I mean, like,
Right.
that's really all it boils down to. You know, I think that's something that it happened a lot more when microtransactions first popped up in gaming, but it's been kind of an ongoing argument where it's like, you know, oh my God, there's all this DLC. It's ridiculous. There's like 4 DLCs for this game. One of them's day one. And then you turn around and see an article, like everybody buys a DLC. So it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, on one hand, I want to sit here and be like, you know, yeah, it is greedy, which it is greedy. Like for Apex, like, come on, man. Like look at the price relative to what you're gaining. And I'll just throw Fortnite in this as well. It's like with your $20, $30 skins, it's like, it's a freaking like thing you see on the screen. Like it's a visual costume. Should not be $30 ever. But if people buy it, you know, then like, who am I to say? You know what I mean? And look, like the last thing I'll say on that is like, I'm not sitting here saying if people will buy it, companies should do it, because like that's just kind of messed up in its own way. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, if people bought a $100 DLC to change your name in Baldur's Gate 3, like, should they do it? No, they should not do that. But like, you know, on the other hand, if I'm just strictly talking from, you know, Apex's perspective, it's like, well, I mean, you know, people want these costumes and they cost money for the developers to make, and we have to recoup our blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know. It's hard. It feels like it's, you know, you have a vocal minority who are like, yeah, this is scummy and wrong and really annoying that it's this expensive. And then you have like tons and tons of people that are like, well, yeah, I like the costume though, so I'm going to get it. So I don't know. This is such, like, to me, this is one of the core, like, financial video game arguments that have been going on for a really long time. And mostly, I would say, since like the advent of microtransactions, that I just don't have a great answer for, honestly. It's like, you know, I think it's annoying. And I can tell you this. I will tell you guys this. I will never, ever be buying these DLCs. I've said that before on this podcast. I've still never done it. The only DLCs I buy are the ones that bring extra content. I haven't bought the Elden Ring DLC yet, but I most likely will, for example. Those are the type of DLCs I buy. I do not care about cosmetics. I used to actually, my friends and I used to joke because I would be like rocking like the base skins when we used to play Call of Duty. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm playing a shooter where I die because I'm not great at it, so I die fairly quick anyway. So, like, I'm not even seeing the gun that much, you know? I'm not even seeing the character that much. So it's like, I don't care. And that's my personal preference. But if people, you know, if people want to spend it, who am I to say no? You know, Henry, I don't know if you feel differently, but that's kind of how I feel.
Nah, preach, brother, preach. I pretty much agree with literally everything both you guys just said. I didn't know anything about this. I was obviously not a big Apex guy either, but one thing that I thought was funny, just, you know, throwing a couple points out there that you guys may have missed is, you know, like EA said this was supposed to help the players. Because it would take less time. They would have to invest less time in a battle pass because it was only going to take half the time, which, like Alexis was saying, I completely agree. One of my biggest turnoffs for any kind of battle pass system is the fact that you have to grind. It's a job. Mm-hmm. It's like a second job to get to the end of a battle pass whenever you invest into it. And they were like, oh, well, since we're making it only half the time, you don't have to invest as much time. Well, it's like, well, then you have to buy a second battle pass, to then get the extra rewards there. So they're really just double. It doesn't help anybody, obviously, other than them to line their pockets a little bit more. And they did also address, okay, well, you will be getting more rewards, and there actually is like a graph or like a comparison of what they are offering prior and what they're offering now after they update the pricing and the model, and they are offering more rewards. Is it twice as many rewards as you got? No, definitely nowhere near twice as many.
Oh.
So it's no bueno for basically every player. It is just EA being money grubbing. I see people complaining that this game has, and Alexis, maybe you can elaborate on it, but it's faltering. It's maybe not performing as well as it used to. I was unaware of that. I thought Apex was still a very popular shooter.
It still is,
not a
yeah.
Fortnite level. Yeah, not a Fortnite level, obviously, but still fairly successful. But people seem to be unhappy with it in some way, shape, or form, from what I was reading. But yeah, this is just another long line of like what I think my main sentiment is like with Cam is like why is this a conversation we have to keep having? Like why are people even buying this?
Yeah.
Like how the monetization of free to play games is infinitely interesting to me, and watching how it plays out even now is it just makes me scratch my head and wonder what's going on.
Yeah, because people are buying it. That's the thing. That's why they keep pushing it. Like, if this comes out and it's like a success, and I mean, what else can you do but blame like yourselves for like continuing this garbage? Because it's like there's better uses of your money, honestly. Because like, why would you? I don't know. It's just with battle passes, I wish they just stayed there. Like, so if you bought it, you have it infinitely. So if you come back like later, like a year later, it's still there. So you gotta worry about losing all your progress on it, and like losing all the cool stuff that you could have got. And yeah, so I'm just looking at the rewards right now. It's just that we got to see it because, man, because there could be like character skins and they kind of suck, honestly. And like they got to show us like what are they adding to it that's making worth $20 a season. So it's gonna be like $80 a year. So like almost like a new game. So they got to make their money back. I do wonder how much they paid, because I remember we were talking about they had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth skins in there, and like all these cosmetics and stuff, and it was like $250 just to get the Buster Sword or whatever. And yeah, I remember playing it a little bit, and it's just like, man, this shit's expensive. Like it just sucks, like all this shit. So I do wonder, like in the future, of like if Apex will continue, because I know it's popular in Japan and stuff like that, and I don't know, it's tough because there's still a lot of players playing it, and then you have streamers talking shit about it, but they're gonna buy the battle pass. Like you hear them talking shit, but they're gonna buy it anyway.
Oh, 100%.
This is like
100%.
They're not a person of their word, honestly. That's why when I see streamers talk shit about it, I'm like, are you actually not gonna spend money on it, or are you? Because they have like all the items in the game. They have all the heirlooms, like all the $200. There's like 20 of them, so like in total, like almost like $2,000 to get like all the heirloom items or whatever. So just like, streamers gotta put their foot forward and just like, yo, don't do this and stuff. And they haven't put out a statement. I mean, you see all these people talking shit, but Respawn, they're not saying anything about it. So it's just like they're unfazed by it, and they know that. So I mean, we do want to blame EA, but I do have to put some blame on Respawn as well, because they do a lot of like weird decisions with this game, and like even like with like decisions with like game modes and stuff. Like they were very stubborn last time. They didn't want to add like a solo mode because they wanted teamwork in the game. So like, oh, we're not adding solos because we want people to play in a team, even though like when you do play in a team, your teammates are like, they leave the game or they don't work with you. So it's just like, so it's dumb. And so it took them like a long time just to add solos. So it's just like, I blame Respawn in this as well. So it's just like, it's everybody's fault behind this. So yeah, put your money where your mouth is, and don't buy it if you see this. But we saw what happened with the Final Fantasy collab. We saw a lot of people buying it, even though it's expensive as fuck to get everything. So I'm not expecting any changes in the future with this. So yeah, I just wanted to add this because I just found it like egregious. Like they really doing this shit. Like when I feel like when Apex is at a low right now, honestly. So yeah. That's it. That's it for the news today. It's not that much news topics compared to these previous weeks where they had like a lot of directs and stuff like that and presentations. So let's get into our impressions really quick. I'll start with mine. So I've been playing. Let's just start with the game I finished. So with Persona 3 Reload, I bought this game when it came out. I got the collector's edition like day one. I was pre-ordering that shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying this. So like I still have it and stuff. So I've been having this game since it came out. So it was like early February. So I put it down to finish Rebirth, and within like the past month I picked up Persona 3 Reload to finish it, and I'm glad I did because man, like this game is like it's like one of the best remakes out there. So like this is the definitive way to play Persona 3. Like I know people talk about like playing the PS2 version. Fuck no, don't play that shit because it's very outdated and it's like very like old and stuff and archaic, honestly, and janky and stuff. Even though people say the older PS2 games are like they have more soul, whatever that means.
Hard to quantify that.
It's so weird because I do kind of get what they mean, but it's because like it was just a different aesthetic back in the PS2 days because it was a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off, so like it sort of had like similar elements, sort of like that. And then now with this, it's just like people are calling it soulless, but I don't really see it. I guess it must be do with the lighting or something with this. But if you do want to play this, do play the remake, like compared to like the PS2 versions, even portable. Nah, hell no, don't play portable. Because it's like a visual novel style, which I mean, if you do want to play the female main character, go for it. But if you want like the main experience of P3, play Reload, and you get it for cheap too. I think I saw it for $30 last time on Amazon. So definitely one of the better purchases that someone can make if they want to invest in a game like this. And one of my favorite games of all time, honestly. After finishing it, like It's right up there with Persona 5 Royal. Like after finishing, it's like. I think what I like about it is like the messaging behind it and the gameplay as well, music, voice acting, amazing. So it's just like all these elements just combine to like make it like an amazing game. There are some down moments, honestly, but they're kind of hard to like identify because it happens early on in the game, where like in the beginning, like it's like every Persona, it's like a tutorial in the beginning. And like it doesn't really ramp up to like the middle for this game. I think near the end, like the latter half of the game is just like where like a lot of good stuff happens.
I completely agree with that. Yeah,
just,
first half of this game nothing happens, and the second half everything does.
Yeah, it was just like damn, it's like oh my god, like it's so good. So yeah, one of my favorite games. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I rated like on Twitter. So if you want to see like my little review on there. I just like the messaging behind it because it's like very relatable to me. So, with this, it's right up there with 5 Royal. If you do want to play a Persona game, play this one. Honestly, like it's like an easy stepping stone to like play the other ones. Because 5 Royal, man, that's long. That's like an adventure right there. But it's worth it though if you do want to play that.
Where can they find your review on Twitter, Alexis?
Nice. I have. So let me go to my account. So my name is Light 'em Up Homie. So Light EMUP Homie. So search that up. And then you'll see my review. I put a lot of tweets and I like some of the quotes at the end. Man, so good. And I think it's like one of my favorites. Like one of my favorite endings to like a game or even movie or anything in general from what I played. So give this game a try, honestly, because. It's worth it, and I'll be awaiting the next remake. So Persona 4 remake, I'm waiting for it. Even though I played 4 Golden for like 30 hours, but a remake of that will be like amazing. But just the story and everything in 3 Reload, it's just so good. It's just like it's like more mature compared to the other ones where like are more cheery and stuff, and like more upbeat. And I hope the next Persona game is similar to this level. where it's like more mature. It tackles topics that are like more mature and stuff. So yeah. Did you finish this, Henry? Because I remember you did finish it. And I forgot what you said. So like, if you can get like
I enjoyed
quick
it.
recap.
I enjoyed it. I think it's my least favorite of the Persona games that I've played, but it's still a really great game.
Yeah.
So I like 4 and 5 a little bit more for different reasons. But I agree with you. It's a great game.
Yeah. Did any of you play 5 Royal, like the Royal content?
Nah.
No. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the Royal sections of Persona 5 just like I can't see it without it. Like it just wraps it up so nicely.
I had a funny. It's funny you bring that up. I actually had a. I mean, I think I've kind of made my reputation on here for having weird opinions, kind of. But I actually am one of the few people I was talking to online about Persona 5 Royal. I'm one of the only people I know. I actually think the original is better.
Really?
I think I actually think. So
is it the
I
same
think
game? Almost.
I think the Royal part of the game is like the worst part of the game. So, in that sense, I think it's better without that. That being said, like, look, I've said this before. Like, a bad part of a Persona game is still a great video game, right? But like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know like Alexis. I know that like I said, I know that's kind of weird or out there, but. Yeah, I don't know. It just to me it felt like I got it. I got the point, and then it just kept going and going. And I will say, like, this is just and I'll try to keep this vague as possible. I really didn't care for like the villain of the DLC, or I don't want to call it DLC, but the royal part of the game. I know. It was really funny when I finished the game, and then I I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I finished the game and then I kind of like Googled around just out of curiosity, and I was like really surprised because I only saw like legit probably like 5% of the comments. I went through like a few threads like on Reddit and a couple other websites, and like I only saw like probably 5% of the comments that felt the same way, but like almost everybody else is like. Royal part was the best part of the game. Royal is like I can't imagine playing without it, like you just said. And I was just like, God, am I just like a psycho or what? Like I don't know, man. Like there's something wrong with me, but it's all good. I mean, everybody's different, right? But like, I definitely just did not or was not feeling really the Royal part of that game. But I'm glad. I will say I'm glad I replayed the game, which sounds crazy because of how long a game it is, but I played it like at release. So like I felt like it had been enough time that I was like, okay, it's time to dip back in. But yeah, that was just my kind of take on 5. I have not played 3 though. So
3 is shorter if you not shorter, but it's like more quicker, I guess, compared to 5 maybe, because the only tough part is Tartarus, honestly. But I mean, over time, I came to appreciate Tartarus for being simple. Like I just drop in, attack, and that's it. I mean, there are some like tedious moments in Tartarus, but it's just this game, man. Like it's so weird because it's like near the end of the game, it's just like it just makes it so good. Like. It just reminds me of like Persona 5 Royal, where like the end part of the game is just like so good. It was like I was just so captivated by it. So yeah, that's all for Persona 3 Reload. So there was one thing I wanted to say about Persona 3 Reload, but I might get back into it. But so the other game I wanted to talk about is I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. Yes. So. I like adding the full name because it's like so funny. It's like why is it called remix and they call it 0.5 and but it's just Kingdom Hearts 1, so the first game. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I like the charm of it. It's like very happy-go-lucky. I do wonder like when it gets to those darker moments, I guess, or like when those heavy story beats. Because right now, I'm just playing right now as Sora. I met Donald, Goofy. I've seen a lot of Final Fantasy representation in this, so I saw Squall, Yuffie, Aerith. I saw Muggles, Sid, and then you also see Disney characters like Dalmatians and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm already finishing like these 2 worlds. So I just finished the Alice in Wonderland world. So I closed the heart or the key or whatever he does with this keyblade.
Keyhole.
The hole, yeah. And then I did Olympus as well. So in Olympus it's Hades and stuff. And you meet Cloud in there actually. So I was like, oh shit, it's Cloud actually. He has like a new outfit and stuff. But he kicked my ass because I kind of suck at the combat because it's kind of tough at the same time. But you do get new abilities over time. So like I'm more adapt to the combat. So I have like new abilities. I can dodge now. Have new like spells and stuff like that. There's also another thing. I was in the Tarzan world, and I just finished that yesterday. So right now I'm going back to Traverse Town, and I have a little nitpick about this game. Is that when you're traveling if you want to travel to a world far, you have to like go one by one. So like you have to go to. I had to go to the Hades Olympus Coliseum, and you have to do the gummy mission, like the ships. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was clicking everything to trying to find like a skip button because I was like, I don't want to do this. And then like once you finish that, you have to do it again. You have to do the gummy mission again to travel to the next spot behind it. So I had to do it twice.
You don't say.
I was like, what the fuck? It's like, yo, like why can't I skip this? So like, I just let it.
I can already tell by Cam's response. You do get a fast travel, like literally right where you are in the game.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so. I was laughing because I was gonna mention that too. But yeah, that's why I always recommend to not like jump back and forth between worlds early in the game because you will eventually get that. So like,
yeah,
I would just progress the story until you get that, and then feel free to just jump around as you like. So, because it's really annoying doing that early in the game.
I had to.
Yeah, it is.
I had to do that because it told me to go back to Traverse Town, so I had to go one by one. Like, okay.
Yeah, it forces you to do it that one time, and then you don't ever have to do that again because you get fast travel.
Nice. Okay, that's good because I don't think I can handle that shit because this is like it's so boring.
The gummy ship is the worst part of the game for sure.
I will say the funny part about it is when you get late in the game, because you'll notice, Alexis, you probably already have, as you open chests, some chests will just have gummy ship parts in them instead of like actual items, which is very goofy. And once you get to the late game, like 95% of people like do not give a shit and don't even care. They just use the preset ships. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely. I did it the first time around too. This most recent time I replayed the series because once you've beat these games, they're super short. I like at near the end of the game, I like made a mega gummy ship, and it is so comical to like do one of the levels with like the custom parts ship because you can make a ship that just like you press the X button one time and you fire off like 10 laser beams and kill everything on the screen. And it's like, okay, this is just goofy at the end of the game. It's like very much a time wasting thing. You know what I mean? It's not challenging at all. It's not really super interesting. It's like purely filler. At least that's how I feel about it. So
you're not wrong. Absolutely,
definitely filler. Because the first time or two, I didn't really care, but then it's like, oh man, it's so annoying. And even the customizing the gummy ship is a little confusing because it's like a long tutorial, and it's just like, oh shit, never mind, I don't want to do this anymore because it's just.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said when I played the game. I tried to customize the ship and I was like, nah, screw this, dude. This painful. Is over my head.
It's that Nomura shit in here. He's probably the one that added this. The Nomura nonsense.
The Nomura nonsense.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying it right now. I just there's like so many games, so like I do wonder when the main story beats will kick in, because right now it's just like I'm just going to these Disney worlds and stuff and fighting. Music is good, of course. A lot of charm for a 2002 game. Like, wow, this came out in 2002. Like, wow. So
yeah,
like imagine being like a kid in 2002 just playing this for the first time. Like you're playing Disney characters and stuff. And just like,
I don't have to imagine, Alexis.
Oh, why?
I was a kid in 2002 playing this game.
I only played Chain of Memories. That's it. And that was like the only thing I remember playing when I was younger. So yeah, this this is like a very cool game. So
It was very cool. Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to keep going deep into the Kingdom Hearts lore. So I do want to play 2, but I know I had to play like a couple more games after 1 because it's like it came out chronologically. So it's like there's like a Game Boy game, and then there's 352 by 2 days or something. So it's just like I gotta get into these games before I get into the second one, which is I heard the second one is really good. So
I like 2 more than 1. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's the case with a lot of people. The second one, and I'm like, why? I'm like, what's so different about it? So yeah, when I get there,
the gameplay is a lot different. You'll see.
It's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay,
Agreed.
got it. So yeah, pretty cool to jump into Kingdom Hearts for the first time because I bought the collection last year, so I'm just barely getting into it. So yeah, that was it for my impressions. There was one thing I wanted to add about Persona 3 Reload, but I forgot. But let's just get into this to one of you guys' impressions. I want to hear about Henry. I want to hear about Eternights. This is like the Persona inspiration game. So yeah, and you also play Concord as well. I want to hear about that as well. So kick it off, my man. Go whatever you want to go first.
I only play the best games, right?
Yeah, Concord.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll start off with Eternights. So like Alexis was saying, yeah, this is an interesting one. It piqued my interest back when it was announced a while back, and it's weird because this is a small indie game. It's only made by 2 guys. And it shows for sure. But it was marketed by Sony. I remember that they even had they changed their banner on their Facebook page to be Eternights, which from a no-name developer and an IP that honestly didn't look like it would be very wide-reaching, because this game was kind of marketed as almost like a dating sim. It wasn't really marketed as like a Persona game, even though it definitely is taking a lot of inspiration from Persona. I wouldn't even say inspiration. It's definitely just trying to be a Persona game. But I was attracted to the dating sim elements of this game. I really like I know, right? Laugh it up, Cam. Laugh it up.
That was me.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Laugh it up,
I was about to say, no, I love that kind of stuff. I played Soccer Wars a couple of years ago. I get it.
Okay, dang. I didn't expect that. I expected to be the weirdo here. Okay, yeah, so going into my history with that kind of a draw to that is when I first played Dragon Age Origins. It was the first game that I had ever played that had relationships and characters that you could woo and get to know better and do loyalty missions for, and you could evolve a relationship within a game, and that could affect the game itself. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this with every game. Why can't I do this with every game? This is amazing. I love Morrigan so much. I want to be with her forever. And that was what I said when I was 11 years old, when Dragon Age Origins was around and I played it. But this game, that fascination kind of evolved, and we don't have a lot of games with dating sim elements in them, honestly. If you go to Steam, you'll find a lot of dating sim, but they're not dating sim games. They're just porn games. Yep. This is actually trying to be a dating sim with a video game element to it. And I bought it simply off of that. I bought it for $15. It's typically $30 full price. But I will lead this conversation about the game itself saying it is currently a 68 on Metacritic, and I think that it is a 68 on Metacritic for a good reason.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Not a good way to start it off. So I think it's combat, its story, its mechanics, just about everything in this game are all fairly shallow. This is a game that has weird priorities. It has clear, I'm not going to say lack of direction, but this is clearly made by, I said it was made by 2 people. You can tell it was made by 2 people, and you can tell it's their first game. This is Baby's first game. A lot of systems don't jive together, and I'll get into that in a second, but this game is a dungeon crawler. And it has a lot of Persona elements. So when I say that, I say obviously building relationships with people. Like I said, it's a dating sim. And then more specifically, like there's a day and night cycle, and like you have only a limited amount of time to get to know your team members and such before a certain event happens. And if you don't beat the boss by that time, then you lose or something like that. This game is a JRPG on fast forward. So I beat the game in under 12 hours, and the how long to beat on this game is like 12 hours. So it is trying to be a JRPG where you're meeting cast members and getting to know them and having this save the world plot in 12 hours, which is insanely short, and it feels that way. I think a lot of people like to give JRPGs crap for like being like a million hours long, but I think like you need to at least as a JRPG be 30 hours to get, that relationship with your team members and that story to even have a chance for it to really kind of start to meld together and for it to really build and go anywhere. And for this game, it felt like the story, just stuff would happen, especially towards the end. They were like, "Oh yeah, we have a story. We gotta move that along. Like we only have so much time." And the characters, like the relationships and moments within those relationships, felt the same. Because again, like I can tell this game was struggling with. We only have so much budget for so many dungeons to elongate the game, and we have to have a story that fits the amount of time we can like build a game around that. So it's very unfortunate that really the story and characters end up being severely handicapped because of that. It has a lot of stuff going on with it. So there's a lot of mini games, there's a lot of mechanics, and all of them again are very low quality, low budget, and it feels like there were a lot of varying priorities, and they didn't know. I feel like they chose incorrectly on a lot of them. So like this game had money behind it, not a lot, but it had some, and like some of that money went to weird things. Like this game has fully like animated anime cutscenes that just pop up at various points in the game, but then it has like the in-game models look like I don't even know. They look very amateurish. They look like it's like you're used to seeing these really beautiful anime models now in games, and these look like a 10-year-old made them. They look really, really bad. And then like this game, has like a fully voiced cast with like professional, not like some guy you get off Fiverr voice actor, like professional voice actors that I've seen in big projects before. And at the same time, this game's UI is like half-baked and like looks like it's like a template UI, and it makes the game feel very cheap overall. It really frustrates me because like everything that I found in this game that I was like, oh, that's cool that they even did that. I'm like, oh well, it also sucks because like this game is poor in another area. The combat is hack and slash. It doesn't really do anything other than just kind of get you from point A to point B. The focus here is definitely the relationships. Towards the end of the game, I got pretty frustrated because they make you choose your love interest and then take them away from you. This is just a kind of more of a nitpicky thing. They take them away from you, but the problem is that I chose the main girl in the game is a healer. She's your party healer. And so like if they take her away from you for the hardest segment of the game and you now have no healer. So like while the final boss could have been really, really easy for me if I had chosen another love interest, I chose the freaking love interest that freaking heals me, and I didn't realize they were going to just take her away from me the entire last segment of the game. So like I couldn't heal at all throughout the entire last segment of the game. Yeah, I was very, very much struggling. But this game's at a 68. I think, honestly, when I look at Steam, it actually has a lot of reviews, and it's overwhelmingly positive. So, like, clearly, the people who found this game that wanted to find this game or needed to find this game found it. But I think, 68 on Metacritic is honestly probably where it belongs. It's unfortunate. Like, objectively, this game is not fantastic. and I can only really recommend it for people who already know they're gonna like it. Like if you are specifically like, I just want to like make out with like fictional anime women, like this is the game for you. Like you already know that's what you want, you've got it. But like everyone else, somebody who's looking for like a Persona game or a good story or great characters or mechanics that tie into those things, you're not going to find it here. It's really unfortunate. So I really can't recommend Eternights, unfortunately. I got what I wanted out of the game, and it wasn't too long, so I wasn't upset. But, I think just objectively it's hard to recommend. I don't know if you guys have anything to add on that before I jump into Concord, though.
I remember hearing about this game a lot when it was like marketed heavily. Even saw it during like some state of plays as well. And I don't know, because I think a part of like the strength of Persona is like the social links, and I guess in this one it's like more dating, so it's like more romantic, and there's no social links like we're like just like other members, I guess.
Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, it's just people in your party. Yeah, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just something with Persona is just different. It's like a different style and like more of like overarching story and stuff like that. And then like the social elements are like on the side, even though it is a huge part of it. And I mean, you can get this game for cheap. Eternights like for like less than $20, I think. So
yeah, 15 easy.
Yeah, it just didn't catch my eye. It's just like, I don't know. It's just something. It's like a weeby game, and
yep, exactly. I'm the target demo.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just not something I would play, even though I don't really care about that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it. But it was interesting to hear like, oh, it does deserve the score that it got, because I remember people were saying like, oh, it's amazing. It's like fucking this Persona right here is like Persona competitor. I'm like, I don't know about that, but so it was good.
Definitely not.
Interesting game to see you play. So yeah.
Yeah, Cam, I don't know if you have anything to add. If not, I'll move on.
Not really particularly. I just think like it's kind of a shame because it sounds conceptually like a cool game. So kind of a bummer, but
yeah,
nothing more than that.
Yeah, understood, sir. Okay, so the last one I have, or the second game that I played, I haven't played very much of it. I'm probably the worst person to give an opinion of it on. So that's great because I don't play very many multiplayer games. But I played the Concord beta. I found it interesting. I didn't even realize it was going to be available for me because I did not pre-order the game. So they have various, like, the beta is rolling out in various phases. Specifically, like, the people who pre-ordered it obviously paid money, got in first, and then there was supposed to be an open beta, but they added a third tier randomly, or not randomly, but very recently, to PlayStation Plus owners will get in, like, during a period that people who had paid were originally supposed to get in. So I was like, oh, well, I'll check it out. I didn't even, like that's a big Sony IP. Like I have a PlayStation. Let's give it a shot. And like this is from the studio that spun off from Bungie. And it was, premiered at the Sony State of Play recently, and people hated it. They absolutely thought it looked horrible and derivative and like Guardians of the Galaxy knockoff and another hero shooter that nobody wanted, right? So I decided to go into it with an open mind, and I can tell you that it seems exactly like what is on the tin. It is a Destiny shooter, it is a shooter from the people who made Destiny, or a team that is comprised of those people. If you like the shooting in Destiny, it feels very, very similar here. And it is a hero shooter. So you have 16 different heroes currently, and they all have different abilities and different weapons. They play differently. And it is what stood out to me most is this is clearly like kind of supposed to be a middle ground between Overwatch and Valorant. So when I look at Overwatch, I see it as more of a kind of a casual, acceptable game. People who aren't really hardcore gamers can play Overwatch. Obviously, there's a hardcore demographic for Overwatch as well, but you can play Overwatch if you're not super into shooters and multiplayer games all the time. And then Valorant is 100% hardcore. Like, you can't be a casual and play Valorant at all. It's meant to be a highly competitive shooter, and I think that Concord is really trying to fit snugly in between those two. It even has, you can definitely tell when something's trying to be kind of like Valorant when they have like just walls that you can just pull up, and like they're just like random walls that are just the color of your team. Like, I guess that's just like a thing that Valorant incorporated into the mark that Valorant has left on the multiplayer shooter genre. But for the heroes, I really didn't feel like there was a lot of personality separating these heroes. I didn't feel drawn to any of them. In Overwatch, I kind of could tell what each hero was supposed to do and how to play as them. And while that still kind of exists here, I don't think it's done fantastically well. I saw a lot of, like the hardcore appeal to a lot of these heroes. Like you really would need to get good at them before like really utilizing them correctly. I saw that like there was a high skill ceiling is probably the best way of saying that to a lot of these heroes. The problem with that is for a guy like me, I don't want to have to learn a hero before jumping into a game, especially when currently the only way to learn a hero is by playing in a game, because I feel like it is encouraging a more hardcore demographic to get mad at me for not being good at the game. So I feel like this game is already kind of too hardcore for somebody like me. But that's kind of my overall take. Is I probably will not be super into this game. The one thing that really kind of struck out to me when they first revealed the game is that every week you have a new like cinematic like moment that you can log into and see. And while that was interesting to me, I have now fully realized that there is no way that would actually encourage me to play this game when it releases, because you don't really like that moment. While it is well done, and like that cutscene, like they have like one of those in the beta. While it is well done, it doesn't tie into the gameplay at all. Like the gameplay is still just a 5v5 hero shooter no matter what. So like in like a Destiny scenario, like you have an ongoing story within the game. And so like if there is a cutscene that you log in for, it probably could tie into the world that you're playing and the story that you're playing. There is no story or universe here that you're necessarily working towards or with or anything like that. So I don't see how these like weekly login cutscenes are going to be something that really bring people back. Even if they are good, what's stopping me from just watching them on YouTube every week, So everything that really could have drawn me to Concord is probably gone now after playing the beta. So I think at the end of the day, what it looks like to me here is this is a $40 game that still has in-game microtransactions, and I don't see anybody talking about it. And I don't see even like people streaming it on Twitch. Like there's nobody streaming this game on Twitch, which is crazy. Like a new game from a big developer, and I'm afraid that this game is just straight up dead on arrival. Like it with a $40 price tag attached to it, I think it's going to be really hard, even if this game is good, to spread word of mouth and get people to buy in. And, I think Sony is really hoping, they just saw Helldivers 2 have this massive, success story, and it's a $40 not free to play, but $40 game that has free to play transactions in it as well. And, it did really, really well. So I'm thinking they want this to be another one of those. They saw the model work before and they want it to happen again. But I think that this just has so much bad blood on it right now, and nobody cares about it, that you really have to have some kind of a big boom at the beginning of these games to have any multiplayer game specifically to really get anybody in. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I'm not looking forward to it, and I feel like nobody else is either. So that's kind of where I am at with Concord.
Wow. So yeah, this makes me want to try it now because it is available to PS Plus users. So
I would love for you to try it and tell, because you play more multiplayer games than I do. So like I really can't speak to multiplayer very well, but I'd rather one of us that can speak to it.
I mean, your reaction was expected because I know like there is like no noise on this game at all. and I know the PC numbers are very low as well, like the Steam charts, and I don't see people talking about it at all. Because with Helldivers, it was like a slow climb, but it reached high numbers with that because of word of mouth and stuff. And like I guess with Concord, word of mouth is just not that good, honestly. I mean, and there are some people that are saying it's better than they thought, but it still is a multiplayer PvP game, so like you got to take that into account. And yeah, I'll try it out probably this week. I'll just give it a download, see what's up with it. Doesn't hurt to try, because I know the beta is only for like a week or two maybe, or like I don't know how long
it's. So you have a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, so I want to get my eyes on that, but yeah, just like the style of it and like the gameplay of it just doesn't appeal to me. That's why I haven't been intrigued to like download it right away. So it was interesting to see you like try this game out and stuff. So, and like the game's gonna be full price when it comes out, so like it's gonna be like an extra.
Yeah, that's why I tried it now.
Yeah. Fuck it, because there's like an extra barrier to like that game. It's just like, are people are gonna play this beta, and are they gonna pay $40 for this game when it comes out? And you just gotta wonder, huh? And like that on arrival, I mean, we saw what happened with Suicide Squad, like where that game just like plunged quickly because of all the live service elements. And then with this, you're gonna be expected to see live service. Did you see like a battle pass or something, like a item shop in the beta, or no?
It's not a battle pass. There's no battle pass to my understanding, at least for what I saw in the beta. But there's like daily and weekly and monthly quests that like build upon each other. So that's what you're dealing with. Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna expect that in the full release. So yeah, it was just cool to see you talk about it. So I'll try it out, and then we can like talk about it next time. So yeah, I'm interested. What did you think about like the competition online? Were you able to keep up with them? Surprisingly so, yeah. I was either like mid of my team or like top of my team every game that I played, which was surprising to me because I normally suck.
Wait,
but
yo, I think you have a career in Concord as a future player. You might...
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You could be a streamer.
I'll be okay.
Yeah, I was just talking shit. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
No.
Yeah, that's all your games that you want to talk about, Henry?
That's all I got. Yeah, I've been busy, so those are the two I had time for, I'm afraid.
All right. So, just to see what you play next week or the next 2 weeks. Cameron, let's see with some of your games. Is it just 2 for today and that's it?
Yeah, just 2. I think one of them's a little
I saw a comma there,
beefy,
that's why.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, I was debating. So there was a third thing I was debating throwing on there, which was It Takes Two, which I've been playing a little bit more of. But honestly, nothing but good things to say about it. So I will say, like, I'm assuming, because obviously I haven't beaten the game yet, I'm assuming whatever mini games you don't find throughout the world, they probably just give it to you after you beat the game. I have no idea if that's true or not, though. But the reason I bring that up is...
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because I was like... Man, I just beat a level and it says I like missed, or it says we missed like 3 mini games that were in the level, and I'm like, damn, are they gonna give those to me after the game, or do I have to like literally go back and find it? So that was the one thing I was curious about. But yeah, I've been playing it with somebody co-op, my brother. We're probably like, I don't know, halfway through the game maybe. I have no idea how long the game is, so it's kind of hard to say, but just judging from what it seems like. But yeah, no, that's a good one. I'll hit on the quicker one first, which is Animal Well, which I had talked about in recent episodes. I hadn't actually dipped in yet until now. It's good, but it's not quite what I expected when I saw the trailers and actually, like, you know, the various like gameplay, you know, videos and whatnot that have come out for the game beforehand. Not necessarily in a bad way. I just think it's different. So one thing that has surprised me quite a bit is and if anything makes me stop playing this game to completion, it's going to be this, is that the movement is not my favorite in kind of a platformer. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it's very stiff feeling, and I think, you know, again, put on our notes, I'm very early into the game, so like I haven't gotten any kind of like dash or double jump, or I mean maybe those things come later, but I haven't gotten anything.
They will not.
Well, there you go. Yeah. You know what's funny is so far in the game, it doesn't, because I'm probably like an hour and a half in. It does not, the map does not seem like it didn't seem like it was going to eventually give me those things. So that's actually really funny that you confirmed that. Because like just looking at the map, I'm like, I think if I had a double jump, it would just break the design of this game. So like I don't, similar to like other games that are similar to this is what I meant to say. I don't think this is going to give me movement abilities, and then you just confirmed it. So there you go. It is just as, visually appealing as I thought it was going to be. So that's been really nice to see. I said before, I like the way this game looks. I still like the way this game looks. It's got like a really unique aesthetic too, with like all the animals, in the game. And honestly, like, I think the save system is super interesting because, like, there's saves scattered throughout the world. But, like, I've died a few times with it being, like, quite a far away from my save, or, like, a while since I've saved. And, like, yes, when you respawn, it does throw you back to a save point. But it hasn't felt that painful yet. Maybe it will later on if there's a little bit more annoying puzzles. But it hasn't felt super painful to die, which is always kind of a concern in these games. I remember in Hollow Knight, which has quite a lot of movement ability you have, but I still remember in Hollow Knight there was a few spots where I would die, and it usually wasn't super painful to get back, but there are definitely a few spots in that game that is just like, okay, like, can I please have a closer save to this problem room? So hopefully that doesn't come up here, but it hasn't yet. I think overall, like, obviously very early into the game, but I think overall I've been pretty satisfied with it. I'll probably stick it through because Henry, if I'm not mistaken, I think you said you beat it. You said it wasn't that long either, right? Pretty short.
It's like
game.
5-6 hours, super short.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I'll probably stick with it, but yeah, I wanted to hit on that real quick. But the other game I wanted to talk about, which this is going to warrant a little bit more of me talking. So I beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I beat it.
Whoa.
Oh,
I did beat it. Yeah, I told y'all I was going to be quick. Y'all didn't believe me. No, actually, it's funny. I actually think I'm trying to think back. I think I might have, because I had a very busy week of work this week. I think I might have actually beaten it. I don't know if it was, I don't think it was last weekend, but it was definitely like the beginning of this week, for sure. So it's been a little bit. I've had some time to sink in. I'm going to put this in the timestamps, and I'm going to warn you listeners up front. There is absolutely zero way I can talk about this game without spoiling it. So I'm just going to throw a blanket spoiler warning right now on basically the entire time I'm talking about this. Not everything is going to be spoilers, but I'm going to bring up spoilers because you can't talk about this game without spoiling the game. Like, in my opinion,
it's hard.
You really can't. I respect you for doing that before because I don't think I could. So, I'm going to rewind a little bit before I talk about the spoilery stuff. And I'm going to just say, first of all, right off the top, that Henry, it's funny. I remember very distinctly how you felt about this game, and I think I feel very similarly to you. I like this game, and I won't refresh people. If you want to hear Henry's thoughts, go back to the episode he talked about it. So I won't recap what he said, but I will say my opinion, which is that very similar, which is that I really like this game, but it definitely has problems, and I think I prefer the first part a little more. But they're both great. So that's kind of my, if you want like a 30-second impression and you don't want to listen to the deep dive, that is my opinion on this game. I do want to dig in a little bit more though, and actually something I did not do before tonight, guys, that I want to do is I'm going to go back and listen to what y'all said before when I dipped out for the spoilers, because I'm curious, and obviously y'all will probably mention some of that here maybe, but like I definitely want to go back and listen to it. So I'm going to hit on a couple things. First, I want to kind of like update almost what I said before, which, last time I talked about this game, I brought up the fact that, because it was a couple episodes ago, I brought up the fact that I wasn't really caring for the open world, because it felt very checklisty to me, and I just thought to myself, like, I don't mind a game being on rails. I definitely don't mind a Final Fantasy game on rails. I know a lot of people complained about, in hindsight have complained here and there about 10 feeling kind of linear, but more so that's complaint has been levied at 13. I personally don't mind that part of 13. In fact, when I played it years ago, that thought never even crossed my mind of like, oh, I wish this was more open. It was purely, oh, the story is terrible in 13. So that was my complaint.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
So yeah, it's like I don't care about linearity. It's never really been something that bothers me. And funny enough, Alexis, something funny in hindsight about Kingdom Hearts is more linear, I think, than people realize, especially the first game. Those worlds are fairly small once you really start kind of figuring out your way through them. So, I like my post-game opinion on the open world aspect is that I feel the exact same way I did a month ago. I don't think this open world made me feel any better about the game. I think, if anything, it made me feel a little worse about the game. But overall, it was just kind of there, right? Like, it was cool to be able to run around, but I don't think I would have been hurt at all if it had like forced me through a specific path. Like, I don't think I would have honestly minded that at all. So yeah, I think the open world it's just okay for me. I've talked about this before on the podcast that I think as I'm getting older, I'm just not as into open worlds in general. So I think that kind of bled out a little bit here as I'm playing this game. So that was kind of the way I felt about it. The gameplay, phenomenal. I said before on one of the episodes, I think Remake is one of my favorite gameplay games ever. And I think Rebirth, I feel the same way. The combat is so smooth. I literally never get tired of fighting in these games. Like, you could literally just throw me into that combat simulator and like leave me there for 3 hours and I would still be having fun. Cause like, I just get so much enjoyment out of the fighting in Remake and Rebirth. Like, it is so fun. The new, I say the new characters, the new characters in quotes are really basically have kind of already been playable before, except Kate Sith. Yuffie was playable if you played the DLC, for example. So it's like, I don't really consider her new per se, but, Kate Sith is honestly probably my least favorite character to play as. So like him being new in this game is like, he's still fine, but like I just don't really love his combat. So like, I could take it or leave it. Everybody else, I love playing as. I know some people, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. I know I've seen some people complain that like they don't really love playing as Aerith. I actually really like playing as her too, because I think she has some really unique abilities. So like her abilities that enhance her basic attack is really nice, and then her ability that double cast spells is ridiculously powerful. In a lot of fights. That thing is so good. The double cast Comet is like so ridiculous.
I used to do that,
that was definitely one of my favorite power combos, I would say. But my core, like I get so much enjoyment out of playing as every character in this game that I switched the party up so much that I couldn't tell you like, oh, I had this consistent party throughout the game. But I would say if I had to say the people that I played the most as at like me controlling them, not necessarily who is in my party, Tifa's up there. I just love her combat so much. I think she's probably my favorite to play as. Barrett, I get a lot of satisfaction out of, and then probably Cloud. I would say those three are probably the three that I play the most as. But I play as everybody. Like, yeah, exactly, exactly. And like, I'm a big in JRPGs. I'm a big. I don't know if you guys do this too, but I'm a big like story appropriate party guy. So like, I'll pick the party based on like the story beat. So like, I want it to make sense. And this game honestly kind of does that for you a lot. It'll like dictate
it forces it on you.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll like force the party that you're playing as. So like, don't have as much moments in that, but like, I'm absolutely the type of guy that like in a Final Fantasy 9, I'll throw in like Garnet 100% in the final party, because it's like, oh, I have to have this character. Like, I picked the most meaningful characters in like the biggest fights of the game. It's just always something I've loved to do. And like, God, I can't even remember his name in 9, but I never used him because I hated him so much, and he comes in like 80% of the way through the game. Amaranth, is that his name? With like the afro. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. I hate that guy. But that being said, right? So gameplay, phenomenal. Open world, could take it or leave it. The side quests, I think the side quests are kind of interesting because like a lot of them are, and this is something we've had some conversations about is, and Henry, you and I have kind of joked about, is like, I have a very serious mentality, even with video games, where I'm like, I don't really care too much for like the jokey side quests in this game. So like anything involving Johnny, I'm like either skipping some of his dialogue, like I'll read it and then skip what he said. Like I'll do what I do in Persona, where I'll read the dialogue and then press forward. Like I don't let him actually say it because I just don't care. Or like I'll straight up just like do the bare minimum in his side quests. Like I'll, especially because you guys kind of warned me about the like romance side part quest, whatever you want to call it, in one of the later chapters of the game. So I like, a Johnny quest comes up and it's a Yuffie quest. I'm doing the absolute minimum. Like I don't care. I don't care about Johnny. I don't care about. Well, I do care about Yuffie. I like Yuffie, but I don't want her in chapter 13. So it's like, okay, I'm going to just do, I'm just going to do the bare minimum. So that's kind of the way I approach the side quests. They're fine. They're fine. They're a little goofy for the most part. There are some good ones. And I do think I lightened up on my serious nature throughout this game, because I do think it balances out the game in a healthy way. I think this game has some really heavy moments, and so I do think the side quests kind of balance those out. So I guess I'm contradicting myself, but I'm actually I'll probably throw the spoiler warning here in the timestamp, because everything I've said so far is fairly spoiler free in my opinion.
I'd say it is for sure. Yeah.
So now I want to dig into the story and have like a little bit of a conversation about this. So the first,
this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah. Exactly. So the first thing I want to say outright, while we're on the subject of goofy versus serious and side quests, the first thing I'm going to say outright, I think, and I thought this multiple times throughout the game, this game does a fairly bad job of mixing goofiness into the serious moments. So I think what I was kind of alluding to before is like, I think if you have a really heavy scene with like, Cloud, Tifa, and Sephiroth, right? And then you throw something goofy at me 20 minutes later, totally okay with that. right? What I don't like about this game is when I'm fighting I'm having a serious moment, and I'm blanking on, there's so many names in this game. I'm blanking on Barrett's friend that he like used to know that ends up dying. Yeah, we're going dying. There you go. We're going full on spoilers. So if you didn't already hear it, back out now. What I don't like about this game is when I have an uber serious moment fighting dying, and then this stupid fucking guy from Shinra comes jumping down out of his ship in this machine right after Dine dies. So, like, I just want them to, like, let the moment simmer a little bit. Like, let me be sad for a minute, dude. Like, you hit me with this tonal whiplash. Like, Barrett is literally sitting there crying, having this serious moment, yelling. And not even 2 minutes later is this stupid mayor, like, forget his title. It's like engineer or some shit. I don't know exactly what his title is, but he's like the treasurer guy that is responsible for like the machinery or whatever. And he comes jumping down out of this robot, and then I fight him. And he's like, has this idiotic dialogue, and he says stupid stuff, and I hate that character
comedic
front
relief.
to back. Yes. And that's what I'm saying is really bugging me. Like, in Final Fantasy as a series, right, they mix goofy and serious. And I think most of the time it does it well, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's why 10 is my favorite Final Fantasy, is because it leans more serious. And when it does goof around, the Titus laugh scene, right? These moments are rare. And guess what?
Right.
The Titus laugh scene does not happen like right after, I'm not going to spoil Final Fantasy X, but like it doesn't happen in right after a serious moment. It's like as they're traveling throughout the world. And that's what I just don't get about Rebirth. It's like it does it like multiple times in this game where I'm like, guys, like, don't be scared to let the moment breathe a little bit. Somebody dies, like, let them die and let me be sad for a minute. Like,
the OG wasn't like that. Like in the original.
That's interesting to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember playing. Like I already finished FF7, the original, and while it does have its goofy moments, those are like, I feel like they're more rare compared to Rebirth, where there's like a lot of them. And like in the original, like if something serious happened, like that dying moment, you didn't fight that guy. Like you didn't fight that Shinra dude. It just the scene ended with Barrett and dying, and it was like sad, and then they moved on after that. And I guess that's why it's like some of the moments are better executed in the original, I feel like, than Rebirth, honestly. So
sure. Yeah, Henry, do you have any thoughts about that specifically, like that dynamic of goofy and serious?
Yeah, honestly, I agree a lot with what Alexis just said. The original, specifically, the original Final Fantasy has a lot of comedic moments in it. But I think I agree that the remake has really turned up that a notch. I was honestly concerned this game was going to be too serious. Because if you look at basically everything post the original Final Fantasy VII, they've tried to make it more serious and more brooding, and like Cloud is kind of like, even in Alexis, you'll meet Cloud in later Kingdom Hearts, and he will be even more brooding than he is now in the first Kingdom Hearts game. So like, as a guy who never played the original Final Fantasy as a kid, and then like I eventually got around to playing it, I was like, oh, this is very different than what I kind of assumed it was. But in the remake, I'll say that I did not mind the comedic tone. And it didn't really, it seems like it's really irking you. It didn't really irk me that much. I get what you're saying, there needs to be a good balance. It doesn't need to be whiplashed. And I completely agree with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, maybe it's just that moment specifically, but I really wasn't too perturbed by it.
I'm with Henry. Yeah, perturbed. I'm with Henry on this, honestly. Like, it didn't bother me as much, but I understand where you're coming from, for sure.
Sure. Yeah, no, and I think that's a really, like, interesting to have these different perspectives on the podcast. Because, like, I think as I mentioned before, like I definitely lean more on that side with anything, right? So that is something I look for no matter what it is, whether it's book, movie, video game. So like I go into stuff expecting that as well, and like I do think this is a very interesting example for me because it feels to me while I'm playing this game like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is like, I think of something like Persona 4, right? Where, and this is kind of the last thing I'll say about that because I think there's more interesting things to talk about than strictly, goofy serious, if you want to call it that. But I just will say, like, from my perspective, it's like I look at something like Persona 4 where it's like, okay, they have this super serious scene where you solve the mystery and all this stuff starts happening, and like before that, right, then you have your classic summer camp day, right? And the summer camp day is very goofy, right? And you have your hot spring scene, and that's very goofy. But like I think honestly, guys, if they had just broken them into different scenes, I think that alone would have done it for me. Like, which sounds goofy, but it's like have the Barra moment, cut to black, like have them like walking for a minute, cutscene, and then run into this guy. I still think it would have probably bothered me, but I don't think it would have bothered me nearly as much as like, we literally get interrupted from him mourning by this guy. That I think is really the crux of my complaint. But enough about that. I want to go a little bit further, right? So, at the time of the last episode that I talked about Rebirth, I was like probably close to halfway through the game, and the story up to that point I had really enjoyed. And I will say, as by the time the credits rolled, I still really enjoyed the story of this game. There's a couple things I do want to hit on. So, something I did see people giving a lot of pushback for, and it was a lot of people who had played the original game, was the section of the game where we are kind of like discovering Red 13's, history, backstory. He's doing his little trial. I loved all that. I saw a lot of people complaining about that, and they said
the trials.
Yeah, and like
I love
his. They said his like story was handled better in the original, and I thought that was really interesting because I started kind of reading a little bit about the changes between these games. I thought that was a fascinating thing to do, and there's a part of me that does still want to go play the original. So I'm actually it's goofy. I'm not reading, a plot summary of the original 7 because I do want that to be a little bit fresh when I go play it. But I did read some of the changes, and like I thought that was a really interesting point I wanted to hit on real quick, which is that, I think I really liked his section of the game. I didn't have any problems with it story-wise. And I actually really liked it. And something I love that a lot of people didn't like about him in particular as a character is how his voice changes the rest of the game. I saw a lot of people kind of complaining about that, and I thought that was super interesting because I'm like, no, it was very, very clear to me. It's like he's being faux mature, like he's clearly a kid. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was such a fun surprise for me when I discovered that, because like I took him at face value. I was like, oh, he just has this really gruff voice. He's like an older, like combat hardened, dog wolf thing, whatever you want to call him. So when that moment happened and his voice changed, like that got me. Like I actually really liked that. And so that was so interesting that people were like, oh, like why did it stay different the whole game? Like he goes back, like he should go back to being serious. He should go back to being, I'm like, no, like he feels comfortable around them enough that now he doesn't have to fake being like macho. That was my take on it. And I thought that was really cool. So, yeah, I don't know, as guys who played the original, I don't know how you guys like enjoyed the Cosmo Canyon section, but I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. I will say I could take or leave, it was like Bugenheim or something, whatever the hell his name is. I could take or leave him. I didn't really, love that guy as a character or his like weird cult. That was fine. But like Red 13, I was heavily invested in, and I actually liked him quite a lot in this game. So yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to mention anything about changes on his story. So
Yeah. Can I talk about the original with Red 13?
Sure.
I don't think it's a spoiler because I think they also mention it. I don't know, because I remember playing the original and they mentioned that Red 13 his voice changes or something, like during that same point. And and I was surprised that people that were like, why did he change his voice? Because it did happen in the original, even though the original didn't have voice acting. But I think I remember one of the characters mentioning how Red 13 is like his voice changed or his demeanor or something changed. So yeah, that's why I kind of expected his voice to change. Like I wasn't as shocked, but I mean he still has his gruff voice. Like you still hear like in combat and stuff.
Yeah, which I thought that was pretty cool too. That he kind of like it can kind of like fluctuate a little bit. So, but yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't know that there was that much of a pushback. I mean, I think I kind of get it if you weren't familiar. It is kind of a whiplash, I guess, since we're talking so much about whiplash this episode. It's for people if you weren't expecting that. But overall, I think that what they did to his backstory, I enjoyed it more than the original personally. And I think that's where these remakes shine is. They have the ability to elongate and elaborate on things that the original game may not have had as much time for. So I think that they did a good job with it. I think Cosmo Canyon, though, is probably like the worst area in like the game. No, it's not. It's not the worst area in the game. It's that freaking maze of that jungle maze.
Yes.
That you have to use mushrooms to jump around. And I had no idea where the frick I was going. But yeah, I didn't find it to be a particularly fun area, I guess. But that was like my only complaint.
Yep. No, I fully hear you on that. And a funny side note about Cosmo Canyon that I thought was so hilarious. The only area in this entire game, I beat the entire story for the area without doing any of the side stuff. Not because I didn't want to, because I ended up doing all the side stuff by the end of the game because I'm an addict for checklists. But
I get you.
Not because I didn't want to, but because this sounds so goofy. I legit could not figure out how to get to the ground level. I could not figure out how to get off the freaking top of the area. Like I was looking around and I'm like, there's no ramp down. There's no elevator. Finally, I Googled it. Turns out there's few more idiots like me that were like, hey, how do I get down to the bottom? And somebody's like, oh, you have to run to the glide platform. But then not hold the run button. You have to hold a different button. I was like, okay, here we go. So that was a very, very funny experience for me. So like I did the story for that area and then like went back. And that was a very weird experience. I'm kind of glad I tried it though, because it was just something different. But that was a very weird experience to like finish the area story wise and then just like go back and like do these meaningless, well, maybe not meaningless, but these little checklist items, I suppose you'd call them. But yeah, the main part of the discussion, I mean, come on, let's be real. I got to talk about the end of the game. So,
of course,
I have to talk about the end of the game. So what I will start off by saying is that, if you don't know Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII Original, like, I don't know what rock you've been living under, because, like, I literally, when I first started playing video games, and I had never even heard of Final Fantasy, I heard about that. Like, growing up in the age of the internet, it's like, you get spoiled on that, like, in the most random way possible, and then you just know it the rest of your life.
I got spoiled off it.
It's just a thing.
I got spoiled off it from, it might have been, like, in 2009 or 2008 on YouTube. It was, like, on the front page. And like I never played FF7 at that time, but I remember watching like a video like that. And then when I did play FF7, like, oh, it's that fucking video I watched like almost like over 15 years ago. And it was just like on the front page of YouTube. I remember people talking about it and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why that's how I got spoiled. So yeah.
That is so funny. For me, it was probably I'm sure for a lot of people, it was probably like one of those stupid Watch Mojo most shocking deaths or something. Yeah. I don't know. There was probably some.
I guarantee that's on
something.
there somewhere.
that popped up that way. But regardless, right? You know in the original that's going to happen. I will say this. Okay. They drop hints for that in Remake. Multiple hints. They drop hints for that in Rebirth. And still, there was a part of me that loves that damn character so much that I was gaslighting myself into believing that it was going to be different. That it was going to be different in this game. And there's a small part of me. I definitely didn't fully believe this, but there was definitely a small part of me that was like, you know what? They can't. The way that they've made these changes with the whispers and all this weird Nomura shit, they can't.
I know, right?
They can't do this again.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
they can't do this again. And I believed it for a little bit. I believed it. Even when this game is sitting there telling me, no, it's going to happen again, and she knows it's going to happen, and she's talking about it throughout the game. Like, she straight up mentions it. Like, not directly, but she'll straight up, has these moments with Cloud throughout this game. On the beach is one of the big ones I think of, where she's literally alluding to, like, I don't have much time left with you, but, like, we're going to basically make the most of it. In a way of saying that without saying that. So when I tell you that I got to this moment in the game, and it's funny. It's funny. You guys, we talked a lot about the difference between a guy who had never played the original and a guy who had, which is, kind of me versus y'all. One thing that I did not know, even having known that happened in the original, I didn't know where it happened. So I had no idea from chapter probably 11 to 14 of like, okay, is this the location that it happens and then I'm going to finish the game without her? Is this the location that it happens and then it's the end of the game? And I didn't know how many chapters this game was either, because I made sure not to kind of like inform myself of that. So like by the time I hit chapter 11 or 12, I'm like, okay, I feel like we're getting near the end of the game, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think that the final chapter of this game is probably one of my favorite chapters from either game, from a story perspective. From the gameplay perspective, not in love with Temple of the Ancients. It's fine. It's got a couple weird gimmicks that I was like, take it or leave it. I love the combat enough that I'm having fun no matter what. But from a story perspective, it's probably my favorite chapter in either game. Straight up. I love the way that they handled this. And I'm sure and honestly, the first thought that I had after Era's death, which is like the keystone moment of this entire game, the first thought I had after the death cutscene was, I'm sure this is going to piss a lot of people off, because the way that they do it is like very, very like FU moment kind of thing, where it's like
very much, yeah.
You thought this was going to be different. You thought you changed the outcome, but you didn't, right? And like it even has you like clicking buttons, which is like next level middle finger to you as you're like trying to work your way through it. But I loved it. I'm honest, if I'm being honest. Like I don't love that happening because I love Aerith to death. I am the biggest sucker, kiss up, whatever you want to call it, for Aerith and Tifa in these games. Like, I love them both so much. Tifa's probably my favorite character from the game, but I love both of them so much. I shout out, I forgot to say it earlier before I continue talking about this finale. Shout out to you guys for warning me about the date. I made sure to do all my Tifa quests 100%, and I got her in Gold Saucer, and it was literally my favorite moment of the game. One of my favorite moments of the game. So thank you guys for doing that, because I would have been so sad if it wasn't her. But, back to
freaking Red 13 for me and Alexis.
Yeah, because we did all the side quests.
Oh, God. I can't even imagine, dude. It's such a perfect moment. Like, I don't know if you watched or if you went back and did the Tifa cutscene, or you watched on YouTube or whatever. But
yeah,
it's handled really well, I thought.
It is amazing, yeah.
So I loved that, man. And, like, back to the finale, like, I think it's phenomenal. They do, like, anybody who's listening to this still at this point of the podcast, you've played the game, or hopefully, or you don't care about spoilers. They do this like fake out where they, you think you saved her, but you actually didn't. And I thought it was so unique. I thought it was so different because the whole time, right, with all these story changes they've done in this game and part one, the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, how are they going to handle this moment differently, right? And it was like its own weird flavor of different, right? Where it did this like fake out thing that I thought was super interesting. Just like, yes, it's sad, and yes, it's very much an FU to the player, but it's also like I felt more in that moment than any other moment in this game like I was in the game, which is what that feeling that I crave, that I love from like story-based video games, is like I want to be immersed. I want full immersion, and like I felt like I was Cloud almost in that moment, as much as you can as a player, right? As like I thought I did it, right? And so did he. And then just seeing that, I'm like, F you, Sephiroth, F you. I was so mad, and I was like, I will say, just flat out, like I have no problem admitting this. This was one of the very first games that made me cry in years. Like I straight up cried while I was fighting Sephiroth, because I was like, it was like a mixture of sadness and anger, where I was like, F you, you mother effer. Like, I want to kill this guy so bad right now. But also, like, I love Aerith to death. I think she's such a well-done character in these games. And I was, like, legit sad. I'm like, how dare you do this to me, game? Like, I thought it was going to be different this time. So, all that is to say, and I obviously I'm going to go back and listen to you guys' opinion, because I'm sure you talked about the finale. But maybe, like, you can give me the cliff notes here. But that's kind of all I wanted to say. I am so curious where this is going next, but like I do hope that Cloud gets a little bit more control over his mental state in the next game. Obviously, it being the final, of the trilogy, that I would have to imagine that happens. But I did get a little worn out by like the hallucination stuff, but I understand the point of it. So, like, if it comes up again in the next game, I'm chill with it. But I'm like, okay, let me have that, like, moment where he quote, fights back or wins. Because, like, I can't just keep watching him, like, keep failing to, like, overcome this. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I loved the finale. If I had one more thing to say before I kick it off to you guys, those Sephiroth fights are ridiculously hard. That was the first moment in the game where I straight up game over to like 6 times, which I will say I did see some other people saying the exact same thing online. If I had one nitpick about the ending of the game, which I loved overall, the ending of this game or the final chapter, it's that I do think, and to be fair, I was playing on hard, so like, I do deserve some amount of blame for this, but like, I do think it hurts a little bit to have a massive difficulty spike that is like a 7-part fight. And yes, it gives you checkpoints, but I'm like, it's like you have this big emotional moment and you're so sad and you're fighting and you're like, fuck you, Sephiroth, fuck you. And then like you lose to him the 5th time. And I'm like, okay, like I'm at this point, I just want to see the ending of the game. Right. So
yeah,
that was a bit frustrating because like I had game over maybe a few times on dynamic before that point, and then like against him, and it's very specifically, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, it's very specifically the last effing fight with him, because it's so hard. And it's like there's a part of it that's satisfying, when he does his patented 1 HP, gets you to 1 HP move. It's like, okay, this is pretty sick, but like also, can we make it not maybe not this difficult? So that's kind of my take on the game. I'm dying to see where the game goes next. And I love the ending of this game, and I like all the characters for the most part. Cade Sith, I'm like, he's fine. Vincent, who I presume is going to be playable in the next game, because I'm pretty sure he's in your party in the original game, I think.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Like, he seems kind of edgy to me, but like, It is what
He's
it is.
super edgy.
What about Sid? What do
It
you
is
think about
what it
Sid?
is. I'm like, those aren't my favorite characters, but also like, he seems kind of interesting, and he's got I love his design, so like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm cool with him from
Yeah.
that
He's a
perspective.
vampire.
But yeah, I don't know if anything I said you guys want to like hone in on real quick, but that was kind of my final take on it. So.
What do you think about Sid though?
I think he's okay. Like he's
Okay.
Yeah,
feels
he's
like he's
okay.
barely in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you talk to him a little bit, but he doesn't really do much. So I don't have like a strong opinion on him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
just his story comes up, but I'm surprised because his story is early in the original, and
Yeah, it's way earlier
Yeah.
than this. Yeah.
so
But how do we tell him, Alexis? How do we break the news?
Man, how do we even start? Because I mean,
I'd say we don't agree with
yeah, we
you.
don't.
We'll
Sure.
start with that.
But it was cool to see your perspective on it, because
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting perspective.
yeah, because it is divided.
I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, so I will say like the ending is divided with people. Like it's like an ending like nobody can agree on, and like there'll always be two sides to it. And yeah, me and Henry, we just didn't vibe with it because we did play the original and how they handle it there, and they handle it way much better in the original compared to Rebirth. Even though Rebirth is like more spectacular, looks way better. It's like all cinematic and stuff. It's almost like a movie at the same time. I mean, the game looks amazing, right? I mean, just looking at it, it's like, wow.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean, when that happens with Aerith in Rebirth, is like when they were faithful to the material, it was like 10 out of 10. Like, it is amazing. And then there was like certain points where it's just like why did you have to ruin this? Why is there no more nonsense with there's like two different timelines or something with where Aerith's
Universes, bro.
Aerith's alive, but
Universes.
but like it
Zach.
does that static
Yep.
noise, you know, and then it's like Aerith's alive in this one, but Aerith's not alive or whatever. And it was interesting because after from the original, they're going in a different path. I think the next one will be like way different from how it usually is.
Sure.
Just like basing it off like Cloud, right? Like in that battle, right? Cloud thinks Aerith's alive, and that's why when you go into battle, when you fight Genova, everyone has their limit breaks except Cloud, because Cloud doesn't think she's dead, but everyone else does because they see it. And so everybody's like worked up and they're
I love
mad.
that.
So that's if you didn't notice that was like the one thing I know. One thing I know is like, why doesn't Cloud have the limit? Why does everyone else have a limit break? So yeah, and even at the end, like the last cutscene, like everyone's like happy go lucky, and Cloud's like having a mental breakdown. He's like like what is it called? Paranoid or something. He's like schizophrenic. I don't know. People were saying this like he was
Schizophrenic probably. A better
yeah,
word.
and he's just like he's gone off like the way path, and it's just like I can't wait to like see what happens with Cloud and what happens to like everything else in the world. So man, part 3 I think will be my favorite if they execute it right, because man, they have a lot of good stuff to build on, even though I was a little sour on what happened to Aerith and everything. So yeah, so
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I am definitely gonna go back and listen to what y'all previously said, because I remember y'all talked a decent amount
we go more in depth
about spoilers. So yeah, like I will definitely go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say from my perspective, I mean, obviously, we discussed this on the spoiler area in the previous podcast, but just to talk with you, Cam, about it, because obviously I think, your perspective is so different, is, from my perspective, the main quote I have is, what was the point? What was the point of going through and saying, here are these whispers things, they're going to change the way the story was, we're changing all of these other things in the story, they let some people live in the previous game that weren't supposed to live in the original game. What is the point of foreshadowing all this stuff of like, well, we're going to change some stuff is going to change. I think you didn't mention it, but that there's like a point kind of halfway through the game that like Tifa, like Cloud stabs Tifa.
Yep.
Like that is like completely not in the original game, like at all. Like it's like doesn't exist. So like they clearly toy with the idea of like, well, we're completely changing the story here. We're doing crazy things, and like why are we acting like we're changing things when ultimately nothing changed? Like when ultimately the story still goes to the exact same point. All the characters that died. Like why are we leaving people alive when they're ultimately still going to die? And like it doesn't. To me, it seemed disappointing because it's like, well, we're not doing anything with this the entire twist of this remake that made it interesting.
Sure.
We're not doing anything with it. So like I would pose the question to you. You said like you got really invested in this ending because like you thought you could change the course of like Aerith's death, and then you got to that point and you couldn't. Well, would that not still be the same emotional reaction if you got to that point in the original game? You didn't know that you could change it, but she still died. Would you not still be emotionally invested in that death and wanting to kill Sephiroth because he had killed your favorite character or one of your favorite characters in the game, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. I mean, I think fundamentally from the emotional perspective, I think I probably would have felt really similar. It's interesting. I had a really different take on the parallel timelines here. Look, nobody knows what's going to happen in the third game, especially with these guys, right? So this could be pure guess, but I got a very different read on this game with all the Zack scenes cut in. I am like very sure, and again, this is pure opinion, but like I am very sure that something is going to happen in part 3 that they are going to come back. So I think something is going to change from the original timeline.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think this like reunion or what have you, I think Aerith and Zack come back 100%. Like it's going to be like the timelines converge and then they're alive. Now we're alive. Everybody's alive. Like I don't know if that's, and just to be clear, I don't necessarily want that, or I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I feel very confident that's what they're going to do. And again, that's pure baseless on speculation, but I just, that is the vibe I'm getting from the hints that they're dropping. But yeah, I mean, it's a great point you make. I do think it's like, it's a different, what I like about it specifically is that it's a twist in the sense of like, it creates a different hit emotionally on you, where it's like you go from, in the original, it's like, this, it's more of an unexpected or surprise moment that like, causes you to be like very angry, very sad. In this game, it's the build up to it that I love so much, right? It's the build up to like, oh, okay, it, we know it. Like, it's coming. But wait, maybe something could be different. And then like, oh, yeah, no, it turned out the same. But like I said, there's these little nuggets, right? And maybe I'm just coping here. But like, there's these little nuggets that it's like, maybe stuff is still different this time. But yeah, no, I think that's a very interesting question you bring up, because it is like, it is, your question fundamentally, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is like, why not just have her die the exact same way in this game? Like, is that kind of what you mean?
It's more so like, yeah, like if the end result of both of these games' endings are the same, but it seems like why are we doing so much so much extra work to get to the exact same point, I guess is more so the point I'm trying to make.
Yep. And honestly, my very unsatisfying response, and this is exactly what I thought, like, I was thinking this throughout the game, but this is exactly what I thought as the credits rolled, is like, it will be different in the third game. Which is like, I know that is not the most satisfying answer for why part 2 is the way it is. But that is my like impression I guess you would say.
I mean, yeah, my response to that is it better be.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I was kind of expecting this one to be different,
Sure.
and it wasn't. And if we're going through all this, I'll jump through all these hoops,
Mm-hmm.
there better be like a payoff.
Yep.
And
Yep.
not to stomp on your
No, I don't
talk
take it
right
that
now,
way
but,
at all. No.
But like another thing that you brought up was Zach. I'm really glad you brought that up because I completely forgot he was even in the game.
It's
so thank you for
pointless
reminding me.
to like walk as him for 2 minutes. So pointless.
Exactly right. Like, and he was a huge part of the marketing. He's literally on the box of the game.
Yep.
And funny thing that I mentioned to Alexis, I didn't know this. I listening to a podcast. Apparently, there is a menu option you can select to completely remove all of Zach's scenes in the game, to automatically skip them because they're pointless. They're absolutely
I
pointless.
like them though.
So like, I mean, I like Zach as a character, but in the overall grand scheme of the story, he literally does absolutely nothing. He has no noticeable impact at all. So he's totally he's worthless. So like I feel like they have all of these ideas and they're not doing anything with them. They're just kind of saying, "Isn't it cool that we have this?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's cool." I can foresee some cool things happening with that, but I have not seen any evidence that they're willing to follow through with any of it yet, that's what's so disappointing to me.
Yeah. No, I think this is super interesting because of the difference in perspectives. And I will say right off the bat, I totally understand where you guys are coming from because like I get like it is a very especially as somebody who I imagine as somebody who played the original game, it is so unsatisfying to have this thing split into 3 parts years apart from releasing to each other and then to say, yeah, well, it's all going to pay off in 3. Don't worry. It's like, well, yeah, dude, but like I have to wait for that shit. That's not that easy. Like I totally get where you're coming from. I do think I just think like I don't know, it's unfounded trust. I just trust. I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should. Who knows? I guess it depends who you ask. I don't know. I just trust that this has to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe it's biased, maybe it's unfounded, but like it has to go somewhere, right? And like it's so interesting and kind of the last thing I'll specifically point out that you said that really caught my attention, Henry, is it's so interesting you brought up the Tifa thing. Because something I noticed, and I tried Googling this after I beat the game because I didn't want to spoil myself mid-game, so I kind of just like socked it away to Google later. Something you mentioned is so interesting is the Tifa thing, him stabbing her, because I've noticed this, and other people pointed this out too. They're very specific to like never show what she's showing him. And like, yes, sure, you might be like, oh yeah, because it's like on an area of her body that they can't show. Maybe that's the explanation. Maybe it's that simple. But also, I feel like they're toying with the idea that maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's seeing her do that. Maybe she never actually did that. Like, I don't know. I just thought that specifically was a very...
You sound like such a Kingdom Hearts fan right now.
Sure. I get that.
You're going through... I obviously, I'm joking, but like that just sounds like the mentality I had with like Kingdom Hearts, you know, like is Nomura would do all this like cryptic bull crap, and you would think like, oh yeah, of course this is so cool, like the machinations of my mind, I'm piecing together the story, all these conspiracy theories and whatnot, and then you get Kingdom Hearts 3, and you're like, oh, this kind of sucked. Like I didn't really care about this ending at all. So I just I hope you're right. It's all I'm saying is I hope you're right.
Sure.
But I don't know.
No, I get where you're coming from. I mean, I think until it concludes, like we truly have no idea, right? But like, you know, it's tough. It's tough to say that, right? Like it's tough to be like, well, it'll all pay off because maybe it will, maybe it won't. You know, it's just something that we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, you know, I could see people having kind of any. I think any perspective goes here, whether you know you're optimistic, pessimistic for the next one. I think really anything is valid. I
Yeah.
suppose is kind of my
Sure.
main
Sure.
point of this. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. I mean that's kind of my 2 cents on this game as a whole. Obviously, really glad to have played it because like these games are just so good. But yeah, that's kind of it.
Nice. Yeah, I did enjoy my time with Rebirth the majority of the time. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same
yeah,
here.
it was good. So like, if you're like an FF7 fan, you gotta play it. Like honestly, even though some people are not a fan of the story changes, I mean it does adapt some of the original material like really well. So like, you don't gotta worry about that because like, I think it's very faithful. Honestly, like a majority of the game, they just add some new stuff and things. But like a majority of it is like it follows the same story beats as FF7, with some minor caveats, of course. But so yeah, like Rebirth. Just the ending. That's it. That's my nitpick. And I mean, it is like I am sour on the ending, but like I am waiting until part 3 to like make my full conclusion because it is incomplete at the time. So
Sure.
Depending on how they execute part 3, like man, I think they still have a lot of stuff to adapt in part 3. So
Yeah, I was gonna last thing, before we kind of close out Rebirth, I guess is I was gonna ask you. I'm kind of curious, like how far into the original is this? Like 60%, 50%? Like
this was the end of disc 1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was
Technically 50,
So-
but I'd say about 60.
so yeah,
Okay.
so like 50% because yeah, that's all I say because I know disc
Cool.
2 and 3 are like the latter half. So like I feel like yeah, we're 50%
Gotcha.
for sure. So
Gotcha. Also, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, I glad to kind of brought a new perspective to this because yeah, I think it's so interesting the dynamic. It'd be really interesting to like poll everybody who played this and be like, who is more positive, who's more negative on this? Like, is it the people who played the original or is it not? I wonder if that's a common thing or you know what I mean, or if it's just completely mixed. Who knows? I just think it's an interesting thing. To think
You really
about.
made me think about it too. So
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
and I love the conversation. I think this ending, and I think a lot of Nomura's stuff, it really does, allow for a lot of good conversation. It can be divisive. So I loved this conversation. It was great.
Yep.
so
Cool.
that ends the discussion about Rebirth then.
Yep.
All right, so that's it for our impressions for the games we're playing. Very lengthy, so let's end the show. So appreciate everybody for listening to this jam-packed impression show for Plug and Play. Henry, any closing thoughts? You want to say goodbye?
I would love to say goodbye. Thank you to our wonderful audience, our wonderful listeners for this episode of the Plug and Play podcast. Don't forget to like us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and send us your own inquiries at pluginplay1@gmail or pluginplaypodcast1@gmail.com. That one, that specific one. And that's all I had to say.
Good shout out. Cam, goodbye.
Everything he said. Bye, everybody.